Morning, everybody! Tobin and Leroy here with you on a glorious Hurricanes Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. It's a game night. That's a very busy game night. All kinds of, but you know the game. It's the game night.
Game night.
There's a lot of games, but there's only one of the game tonight. A lot of action, but there's only one the action tonight. And that is your Miami Hurricanes in the college football playoff semifinal in the Fiesta Bowl. Ironically, you have a win over Ohio State, sending you to the scene of the crime against a new team that I don't know what the hell's going on with their coaches and whatnot, but I do know that I have never seen Mario Cristobal angrier than I saw him yesterday getting a fruit basket. And that's including the Georgia Tech game where he didn't take a knee.
Why was he upset?
Dude, why? Because I think Mario Cristobal thinks that football is not for presents. That's what I think. I think that Mario Cristobal decided, Vlad, at one point that presents ended at Christmas and they don't start again until you win the championship. So when he got that gift basket, he was not pleased. And I don't think he had any time for the mayor's cutesy stuff. He's not there for that. He's there for football. Ole Miss, read into this what you will. Like, I'm not here,
They're America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
You
don't think Indiana's America's sweetheart?
No.
I don't think Ole Miss is America's sweetheart.
I think everybody went to Ole Miss to win because of what Lane Kiffin did.
Maybe. I feel like if there's America's sweetheart, I think it's Indiana. I don't think that people dig them that much or care that much. Like, it was a cool story, but I don't get that sense that they're America's sweetheart. It'd be cool. I mean, like, from everybody else's name, but I understand why that would be. But I kind of feel like Mendoza's like, got he's so giddy, and everybody likes the Signetti with his grizzled look. I kind of feel like they're America's team. You don't? All right.
No.
Well, either way, I don't really care because guess what? The Canes are giving them 2 tickets to Blowout
Canes
City.
Are our team.
The Canes are giving them 2 tickets to Blowout City tonight.
Really? You really think that?
I really do. Everybody's been asking me, like, are you nervous today? Are you not? Look, I know we live in a world where people want to come out there and they want to, give you a gotcha. I'm just telling you how I feel. Maybe that doesn't happen tonight, but I genuinely feel that tonight the Miami Hurricanes are going to have a fiesta, and they're going to give the Ole Miss Rebels 2 tickets to Blowout City. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with the rest of the tickets, so they probably need a lot more admission to that, but I'm telling you right now, that's just what I feel in my bones. And that's just – because, look, I genuinely think on the other side of the bracket, which I haven't been allowed to talk about all week, I'm nervous about those teams. But I do feel like the Miami Hurricanes are so all business, and I do think Ole Miss – while it's a very nice story, I think playtime's over for them. I think that they have had a nice run. Trinidad Chambliss should be very proud of what he's done. That entire roster should be proud that they have emerged from the greed. I'm sure they'll all be LSU Tigers next week anyway. And I just think playtime's over. And you saw that when Mario Cristobal wanted to punch the mayor of Arizona right in his snot box for giving him a gift. You've seen it with Corey Heatherman. You've seen it with Keontae Scott. This is a business trip. And the exit from this business trip is sending the Rebels to Blowout City. And that's really what I feel. Maybe I'll look a fool tomorrow. I don't want to be called a jinx tomorrow, whatever. It's just what I feel. That's what I think is going to happen. I feel like the Miami Hurricanes are going to throttle this team, and then they're going to have a very tough task the next round. But I'm not going to sit here meekly behind a microphone and it could be a good game. Oh, they have a fast pace. No, I don't feel that. I'm too confident in where they're at with this team. I was very nervous for the first game against Texas A&M and their defense and the wind and the fact that they had to, sweat out getting in.
They're a better team than Texas A&M, right?
They're a better offense.
They're a better team.
But let's just hear me out. This doesn't have to do with who's a better team, who's not a better team. I'm just telling you my ride of feelings, okay? My ride of feelings was I was very nervous because if you lose the game the first round, everybody knows you're laughed at. You lost the first game. And that's how you feel. So you're like, it's not only that you want to advance, you want to get to the point where it's like, you don't want this to look like a mistake that you got in, okay? The next game, there's this historic stakes at it, all right? Everybody's got revenge on their mind. We're all thinking about 2003. We're all thinking about the pass interference. We have the local ties. They're talking a lot of bleep. But I never went into that game nervous. I was just like, whatever happens, happens. They're here. I felt like the line was very, very disrespectful. I did not feel like the Miami Hurricanes were anywhere near a 9.5-point underdog. And lo and behold, they took care of business. They kind of put it on them. A little scare there in the second half, but mostly the Canes handled that game quite nicely. And this one, I just don't feel that way, Vlad. I think it's a great story. It's nice what they did, but I just think this Canes team, they got the right formulas to make this team miserable tonight. I think that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And if you guys want to be mad at me, fine. That's fine. You can be mad at me tomorrow, or you can say, Tobin, you were a genius. But I don't feel like I am a genius. No. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like the Canes are going to smoke this team tonight.
I love it. You're 10-toe down. You planted your flag, and you're like, you don't think this is going to be much of a concern.
I don't.
And I understand why. So that see, this is what you want. I know what you want. You want the Canes to dominate this game so well.
Yep.
That you could put your attention to the Miami Heat and hopefully that they can get out of the schneid that they're in.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I already talked about this yesterday, Vlad. They're going to win the next two games. They'll lose. What they're going to do is they'll win the next two games because the next two, they're good against teams that suck. That's what the Miami Heat is impeccable against teams under 500. They're like 15-2. So I'm not worried about these next two games at all. Like, I think they go and they win these next two. What's going to happen is they'll play for a competitive quarter on Sunday against the Thunder, and then they'll get that'll be the Thunder slump buster. The Thunder will remember they're the Thunder against the Miami Heat. So if you guys want to save time watching them, no, I'll watch. But I'm saying if you want to save time watching the Miami Heat, that's what's going to happen over the next three games.
Well, we all know what we all want. Out of all the three games, there's one win we want. The
other
two could lose.
Oh, if I had to sacrifice?
Yeah, the other two could lose. Panthers, sorry. I seen two stands.
Easily.
You could lose tonight.
Easily. Easily.
You could lose tonight.
But it's just how I feel. Schmeathan is mad at me. Schmeathan is like, I've never hated you more. Because he's sitting here and he cares about this. He cares about the Miami Hurricanes so much, and he doesn't want to. And I know what you look, Schmeathan. I know what you feel, buddy. I know what you're feeling in your heart. I'm just saying it. You don't have to take the arrows from freezing cold takes if it happens. I do, but it's okay. I'm happy to be laughed at by Feinbaum or all this. I'm not sitting here guaranteeing it. It's just what I feel. I feel like they're taking them to Blowout City.
Ripping your hat.
I love my hat. You don't like this hat?
Honestly, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have noticed your hat.
It's covered in Sebastian.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
Sebastron.
I just won.
-1.
Thank you for the clarification. I knew it was Sebastian. I was just not looking at you like that.
Gonna be Sebastron if they take him to Blowout City tonight. Tell you that much.
Well, there's some places in Arizona.
Partying in the desert. That's what's going to be going on. I love this hat.
They're ripping your hat.
I love it. I don't care. That's the thing is I can sit here proudly with my covered in ibis wallpaper hat. This might be the wallpaper in my house after tonight.
I hope so.
I don't think Mrs. Tobin's going to go for that.
I would love to hear what she
maybe in the studio. Maybe in the home studio it'll do that.
Now, do your family know that today's an important night? Like,
yes.
Leave me alone.
Like,
don't bother me.
They know it's an important night because they knew because what happened is the Ohio State game was on New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve, we like to be in our house. We like to watch the ball drop and all that type of stuff. And my wife, sometimes we'll go out. I was like, look, I don't know what to tell you. We're not going out this year. It's the biggest Canes game in over 20 years, which, kind of got the look, which is fine. I made up for it the next day. But
trust me, you weren't the only South Florida man that was getting the looks. And they made skits about the way wives were all dressed up at 6 p.m., 6:30 to get ready to go somewhere, and the Canes game was going on.
They should, yeah. And so everybody's aware now because of what happened on New Year's. Yes, we're all aware of what's happening tonight. That's so it is. Everybody is ready, Vlad. Everybody is excited for it, and I'm walking. Everybody's asking me in the building today. Oh, what do you obviously because I have this ridiculous hat on, but I love this hat from Parks and Rec. By the way, my boy Alex from Parks and Rec. Go check out his stuff.
Never misses.
He never misses. He never misses.
I told my sister's not even to come by.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Business trip. That's why.
He's like, he's like, don't come by.
I just want to be. He just wants to be alone.
He's like, I'm watching the game. Don't come by.
That's how I was during the A&M. I was a wreck during the A&M game. I was a wreck.
Well, that's Saturday noon. That's the first.
I was a wreck.
You woke up and you were ready to go.
Yeah, dude. I was a wreck during that game just because of how it went. But dude, I'm telling you right now, this is I feel good about tonight. Everybody's saying, "Oh, what do you feel is going to happen tonight?" I've been telling them 2 tickets to Blowout City. They're like, really? I was like, yes, that's how I feel. I'm not allowed to feel what I feel.
Why do they ask you?
Probably because of the ridiculous hat.
No, I mean, but like obviously people know what you're gonna say.
Sometimes I'll be like, I think it's going to be a close game. Sometimes I will say that. I think it's going to be a close game. But that's not what I feel. I feel like it's an ass kicking tonight.
We expect you to say Canes in 5.
If that was a thing, I would do it.
Yes, that's what they all expect you to do or say.
So excited, dude. Anywho, give you some quick headlines here. Headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Fiesta Bowl tonight, 7:30. Countdown to kickoff begins at 3 o'clock on FM 104.3 WQAM. The Miami Heat, they take on the Chicago Bulls tonight at 8 o'clock. I believe Jaime Jaquez Jr. is questionable to play tonight, so that's good news. It seems like he's getting healthier. That game will air on AM 560. And the Florida Panthers, for all our hockey heads out there, they take on the Montreal Canadiens tonight, looking for a little revenge after that blown game just a week ago. That's at 7 o'clock. That's on HD2. That's where that's at tonight?
I believe it's at HD. Yeah, HD2 because the 790 show gives the Latin Canes game. They do the Latin broadcast.
Okay.
The Spanish broadcast of the Canes game.
There you go. Okay, so that's what we got going on tonight. The Miami Dolphins
still without a GM.
Still without a GM, but narrowing the list. We'll get to that coming up next. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you. Leroy out today. Back tomorrow. Getting you ready for a big night of action here. We're also following everything that's going on with the Miami Dolphins GM search. Want to also let you guys know Real American Freestyle is coming to Amerant Bank Arena this Saturday. Colby Covington against Luke Rockhold, the former UFC champs, going up against each other. Well, Colby was an interim champ, but that was because, oddly, Dana White wouldn't wait like 2 months for him to fight Tyron Woodley. I didn't really understand that at the time, but either way, it was a good performance when he won the belt. Then Usman gave him the business. Anywho, neither here nor there. If you guys are freestyle wrestling fans or amateur wrestling fans or Olympic wrestling fans, this will be for you. And I'm going boots on the ground to this. I'm taking Tommy Tobin to this. And we're actually going to have one of their champs stop by next hour, Kyle Dake. He's a 2-time Olympic bronze medalist. And we'll talk a little bit about the event with him. But we'll give away that 4-pack before the end of the program. And you guys can purchase your tickets at amerantbankarena.com/events. What's this person want? Hey, QAM, you're on the air. All right. Rats off a ship.
Okay, that was yesterday, but okay.
Rats off a ship. That was strange. Well, rats off a ship can be every day. You know,
You're right.
Jennifer?
You're right.
If you're rats off a ship, you're rats off a ship. Speaking of rats off a ship, the Miami Dolphins GM search has been narrowed down.
How many?
To 4 names.
Final 4?
They're moving along swiftly. The Dolphins have made this point. They're moving along swiftly. We did your Zoom interviews. We're moving on. So now we have a final 4 of Dolphins and the candidates left. Here's what we got. We have remaining Champ Kelly, of course, the interim GM. He will get a crack to give his real interview. We got John Eric Sullivan. He is the Green Bay Packers Vice President of Player Personnel. He is apparently interviewing in person today. You got Josh Williams. He is the San Francisco 49ers Director of Scouting and Football Operations. He gets an in-person interview. And then the one that everybody seems to be like, is this Chad Alexander. And he is the LA Chargers assistant general manager who has not just worked with one Harbaugh, he's worked with both Harbaughs, Jennifer. Both Harbaughs. Apparently here's the interesting thing about that. Apparently, according to reports from Albert Breer, he says the Dolphins are interviewing Packers VP of Player Personnel John Eric Sullivan and Chargers assistant GM Chad Alexander in person today for the GM job. Sullivan did a Zoom interview with Miami on Tuesday. Alexander is meeting with the team for the first time. So he just got a first-round bye. He just got to move ahead. Now, one might say, why is that? Why would he just get to move right along if there wasn't some wheels in motion? I know everybody's reporting that the Dolphins have not contacted John Harbaugh. Very credible reporters. Very credible. I would never, ever question the great Barry Jackson or Jeff Darlington or anybody says the Dolphins have not reached out to John Harbaugh. But let me ask you something, Jennifer. Let me ask you something, Vlad. Is it a little interesting that John Harbaugh decides I need a little time right now? I need to take my time. I'm not getting right into these. Everybody wanted to interview John Harbaugh. He goes, I need to take a break. Maybe next week. I got to gather my thoughts.
You know what's a good place to take a break? Miami.
It is. It is a great place to take a break.
You can unwind by the beach, maybe.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, seems like the Ducks are in a row. Seems like some things are happening. Now the Dolphins, mind you, they can't get busted with it. For whatever reason, they're leaving McDaniel out to dry, and they're gonna make him basically they're making him their plan B. They're just making McDaniel wait at home idly by, and maybe we'll hire your 49ers guy or we'll keep Champ Kelly. You know, maybe we'll do that. And maybe that does happen. I don't know. It seems a little rude. They clearly don't seem to like him. Reports are there asking in the interviews, hey, what do you think if we got a new coach? What would you think about that? So it's interesting. By the way, you know what was interesting today? I love this about Facebook memories. You know, it takes you down a path, right? And just so happened today, you know what popped up on my memories? I was talking about this damn yesterday.
What?
That stupid boardroom press conference where the poor late Tony Sparano got the I'm sorry contract from Stephan Ross, who got busted pursuing Jim Harbaugh. Ergo, I actually got the picture. I'm going to share this for our audience here. This was it's very grainy. I think this is an OG iPhone that I took this with. But this was the scene in the boardroom of Stephan Ross's apology press conference.
Technology has really taken a turn.
It really has. I don't know if that's my fat thumb, if I'm like trying to sneak a picture.
Right.
But I was sitting right to the side behind a little bit of Tony Sparano. Rest in peace, of course, the late Tony Sparano. Stephan Ross in the middle, and then, of course, that weasel, Jeff Ireland, all the way across right there. And I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe it's been how many years since this has happened? Like, what a throwback that was. It was crazy. RVA Richard says, is that Leroy taking that picture?
Point for Twitcher.
For
YouTuber. It checks out.
That was such a scene. But it's fun. So anybody who's going to sit here and is like, oh, the Dolphins haven't reached out to Harbaugh. Yeah, of course they're not going to do that. Let me get this straight. You guys think an organization that really has interest in a big name coach, while they still have a coach, first of all, got to lay the groundwork, all right? You got to make sure Harbaugh's not going to come here unless it's set up his way, all right? He's coming in with some cachet, all right? So you got to have who would you like? Like, theoretically, whoever's talking about this through back channel, like Chad Alexander, he seems like a good lad. I would like him to be my general manager. All right, we're gonna go interview him, see if we vibe, see if he's got the job. Maybe the guy has a terrible press conference. Like, there's no way this guy can run the organization. So you got to do that first. You got to hire your GM. Everybody said this is going to be a fast process for the Dolphins. It all goes smoothly. Then all of a sudden, you give the news, and you can move on. Oh, is that
is this real?
Hold on.
I'm scared.
Schmeathan? Hold on. Don't be a bastard, Schmeathan.
That's messed up if he is lying.
Yeah, if he is lying, that is messed up. He's a bastard. I don't see it anywhere.
Who's his source?
I think he's doing that just because I was confident.
Yeah, I think he's messed up.
Because of my confidence with the Canes. Usually I trust you, Schmeathan Schmolnick.
He said apologize too.
Oh!
Wait.
Oh! Breaking news here on... Wow. Adam Schefter has just tweeted out, the Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel has been fired by the Miami Dolphins. His tweet continues, the Dolphins owner Stephan Ross met with McDaniel this week to discuss the season. After that meeting and reflection, Stephan Ross has decided to move on. Wow.
This is a day.
This
is
crazy.
This is a day.
Hey.
We're talking about this.
Just as we were getting it, he's not going after John Harbaugh. Sure, dude. Sure.
Well, y'all got what y'all wanted.
Hey, look.
Mike McDaniel needed the bodies. You got 3 of them.
Got everybody. The era has been cleaned out. I'm sorry for a nice guy losing his gig, although he's cool. He'll be cool. Someone's going to take him as his offensive coordinator. But to be honest with you, applause to Stephan Ross. All right, I give him a little clap. He did what needed to be done. It was time to move on. It is time to move on. And so the Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel today, if you're just tuning in here, Mike McDaniel getting fired was the right move by Stephan Ross. It was enough of this nonsense. It was very clear, even through this interview process, it was clear that the Miami Dolphins had kind of lost their taste for him. He got worse every single season. He was a big reason as to why they extended Tua Tagovailoa. And this organization and this franchise was done with that era. All right. Creative guy, little quirky, march to a different beat. Part of that stuff you can respect. But also, a lot of the times, seemed like Mike McDaniel was way in over his head. Stars walked all over him. The locker room didn't act professional around him up until this year. And he never beat good teams. Never. He never beat good teams. And the second half numbers this year were atrocious. Stephan Ross was really left with no other choice. The fact that it was even hanging in the wind for a few days was a little bit weird. But I'm sure once they got the ball rolling in this whole general manager process, he had to have felt and had to have known that it was time to make this decision. So Mike McDaniel has been fired as Miami Dolphins head coach. We'll take a break. If you guys want to react to this, 305-567-0560, 305-567-0560. And we'll follow this all day, obviously, as the Dolphins are moving on from Mike McDaniel as their head coach. Oh, baby. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. My mother just texted the show.
No way.
I swear to God. My mother just texted us.
What did she say?
Well,
Happy?
breaking news for those who are just tuning in. The Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel. It's now been reported by multiple parties that Stephan Ross met with McDaniel, reflected on the decision, and decided to let go of McDaniel after 4 seasons. Barry Jackson saying Mike McDaniel fired clears the way for the Harbaugh pursuit or interviews of anyone else. Miami was reluctant to call Harbaugh or anyone with Mike in place, I'm told. That issue is now solved. Dolphins were sensitive from past Jim Harbaugh Ross fiasco and want to do things their way and believe it's the right way to operate. Happy anniversary, by the way, to the boardroom press conference. My mother was listening, and she said, as soon as she heard the news, what would Socrates say to that?
You know what? Give your mother a point and then give her 5 more, please.
Point for
I'm a Tobin.
Man, it runs in the family, doesn't it?
It does. It absolutely does. But the Dolphins have just put out a statement here on the decision. We have a statement from Stephan Ross on the firing of Mike McDaniel. The Dolphins have just tweeted out, the Miami Dolphins have relieved head coach Mike McDaniel of his duties. Here is the statement from Stephan Ross. After careful evaluation and extensive discussion since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is in need of comprehensive change. I informed Mike McDaniel this morning that he has been relieved of his duties as head coach. I love Mike, and I want to thank him for his hard work, commitment, and the energy he brought to our organization. Mike is an incredibly creative football mind whose passion for the game and his players was evident every day. I wish him and his family the best moving forward. That is from owner Stephan M. Ross.
I can't help but smile. Like, my face is about to start hurting.
I'm not going to lie, Jennifer.
I feel bad, but to say, because he's like a nice guy.
I don't feel bad. I mean, like,
he's a nice guy.
He does. He seems like a very nice man.
Right.
He seems like a very nice man, but
like,
I do think that performance-wise, I think it was time. I think it was time, and also just everything the era stood for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it would have made sense to be in a spot where you finally fire Chris Greer after way too long. You get rid of Tua Tagovailoa. You bench Tua Tagovailoa. He had this Hail Mary at the end. Does Quinn Ewers look like he could be any kind of a good quarterback? He did not. And so it's time to wipe the slate clean, and especially if you have a John Harbaugh available, maybe a Mike Tomlin available, maybe a Sean McDermott, a Mike, somebody. You can't get into the swing of these things. And it's reported that you're telling GM candidates, hey, what would you think of a different coach? You can't go about the process anymore and leave this guy hanging in the wind. And for people who are like, oh, he's a big boy, you know, he gets paid. No, that's not how it works, dude. You got to move on. You can't be repeating history. All right, you got busted with the last time you went after a Harbaugh. Hell, you got embarrassed the last time you fired Brian Flores, and you had something, a little sketchy in the works. You had to do this thing the right way. They want to move along fast. The one thing with Stephan Ross that he's got that big old wallet. He's got a beautiful location, and he's got an organization that is so thirsty to get fixed. You can't be doing that, leaving your coach in the breeze. You can't. Especially, could you imagine first of all, just on a personal level, I just say, I'm so thankful I don't have to cut these press conferences anymore.
It makes me so happy I don't have to hear it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I am so happy.
Trevor, myself.
Oh, Trevor.
Oh, we're so happy.
I'm start crying right now.
I know. Listen, I did. I wanted to. That's why I was happy. I don't want a man to lose his job.
No, never that. We don't waste.
But if he's not doing his job correctly, then people decide it's time for him to go.
This is a glorious day for a Adobe Audition for our radio nerds out there. But in addition to that, but imagine, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Vlad, imagine the first press conference that we got to hear him try and talk about how he's not upset about any pursuit or the new GMs. Like, he's going to short circuit up there. You can't do it. And so going about it this way was the right thing to do. It was the right decision for the organization. Now, they got a lot of work to do. I'm not expecting a miracle fix right away, although I kind of feel like Stephan Ross is going to swing big. I don't know what the hell that means, but I just think he's old as hell, and he's embarrassed that this keeps happening to him. And he's got competition because you got the Giants who are going to be going after everybody too, and they got their guy in Jackson Dart. I don't know if he's good because he doesn't seem to be able to stay healthy either, but he looks exciting. They got a lot of exciting pieces, so there's going to be competition. And so if there's going to be competition, you can't be leaving guys hanging in the breeze. You have to let your interest be known, and you have to go try and put a full court press into whoever that person you think is to fix this organization.
By the way, great timing to announce the firing the day of the college football semifinals.
I know, right, dude?
Miami Hurricanes, right?
Also, the great timing was when you said rats off a ship is every day.
Unbelievable.
Like literally, this would be the right day to do it.
This is wild. Let us get to some calls. Some people want to chime in. Let's see what the people got to say. Bob, what's going on, dude?
Good morning, everybody. First, I think it was a year too late. Should have done it last year. Two episodes that happened, and I think has affected him. One, Harbaugh firing. He's not going to make this mistake as he did with Soprano. I mean, not Soprano, but the coach that he hang him in there. No, I'm not pursuing it. So he wanted to make sure he had a clean slate.
Yep.
That's number one. Number two thing was the impressive performance of New England with the new coach and how you draft. We have failed in that department year after year after year. And if you fail with your number one draft, you fall behind 5 years. They shouldn't have given the money to Tua. They did now, waiting for the last of the three. When they say we release Tua or we trade Tua, that's what it makes it a complete. That bum should be out of here as fast as we can. The problem with McDaniel was he was a too nice of a guy. If it was a shooter, you make mistake, he bench you.
He definitely did.
His teammate.
Go ahead, buddy.
When he put his teammates under the bus, he should have benched them. You don't talk about your teammates that way.
It was a ridiculous thing.
It was a ridiculous, and he thinks the way he acts. And I know I don't want to take anybody ticked off. It made me aggravated every time he put that cross under his thing. What are you, a warrior? You're a freaking football player. And you're a weak one of that. You're not a warrior. You're not a tough dude. He tried to act like a tough dude, but his jaw was made out of glass. You touched him, he got a concussion.
Right. Well, now we're going off on the Tua thing, but I understand. He's like, I do think that the whole Tua thing that this went, I think also that probably soured McDaniel, but you are kind of stuck. Like, this is your guy. Like, the point is, it was a tough thing for him with the Tua thing because you lived by getting that guy fixed in any type of way. That was kind of your identity. And so, like, you kind of live with him and you die with him. Like, that's how your career went with it. And unfortunately, and I do think that Mike, being a nice guy and believing in his players or trying to keep his players happy and all that type of stuff. Look, there's some admiration in that to try and do it a different way. But dude, this is a cutthroat game and it just doesn't feel like it's ever going to work that way. It just doesn't. And I think that, as everybody says, very creative dude, but I just think that the guy was thrown way into the deep end of being the leader of an organization. Mind you, also the first time he was ever calling plays. And it was just too much for him.
Dude, if I'm wavering on making a $250 million investment and you come up to my office, you jump on my table and say we need to give this man $250 million. And then within less than 2 years, not even 2 years, a year, 18 months, you and that individual can't get along. That individual is no longer the same player that he was. Yeah, that's grounds to get fired.
Barry Jackson has just tweeted out, and Omar Kelly, by the way, is going to join us at 11:15. So thank you to getting that going, Vlad. Appreciate that. We'll have Omar coming on in less than a half hour. But Barry has tweeted out, Harbaugh availability was a factor in this decision to move on from McDaniel. Miami is now obviously going to pursue him with the Giants among formidable competition. Jay, what's going on, dude?
Hey, how y'all doing today, man?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How are you?
I'm good. I know you all right because you going crazy right now. I called because I want us to hold back on the celebration right now because the guys who we pursuing, like it seems like as Dolphin fans, we always want to get other people trash. So I'm looking at John Harbaugh and I'm looking at Mike Tomlin. They get credit for all the stuff but the Ravens aren't really tough. They got Derrick Henry, but they aren't a talented team like that. And also the Steelers aren't like that division was won with what it was 10 games. It wasn't a tough division. So I'm looking at it like this. I'm looking at it like the one thing that you have to get right is the quarterback position. And I know most Dolphin fans wanted Tua. When his contract was up, most Dolphin fans were like, if they don't sign him, it's gonna be a problem. They gotta sign him. They gotta make sure he gets signed, including you, Tobin. Most of y'all wanted them to sign him.
I agree. No, listen, I'm not gonna run from the fact that I wanted to extend it.
Yeah. So it didn't work out and everything like that. But if we're gonna go in a direction, I want to do something new. I don't want John Harbaugh. I don't want Mike Tomlin because the offenses they run, like we're not gonna like that. We're not gonna like those offenses. They run offense like what the coach we used to have when Ricky Williams was here.
Wants that?
Yeah, like they just run. And yeah, Harbaugh has that great running back, but the Steelers' offense isn't great. It isn't like Mike Tomlin. He's not a coach that goes for it. He's not an aggressive coach. He like I don't think we're gonna like the type of offense.
But Jay, you think you want another coach who's going to learn on the job, like another new guy, like because that's exactly what Mike did, and it didn't work out.
That, but I think it's just the direction that most teams are going now. Like most teams are going with new guys. Most teams don't go with guys that are like retreads. You don't see stuff like that. So just me as a fan, I watch Steelers football sometimes. Like I don't want to watch that. Like it's just like I don't.
So you don't want to win
them. I guess.
Then you answer your question. Then you don't want to win.
Okay. No, I think the thing is like with his point, like I think I saw something yesterday, Vlad, that the oldest coach in the NFC playoffs right now is LaFleur, and he's 46. Like I get that has been there are plenty of new guys and young blood in the game right now, but I think that typically when you look, this is just how it goes. When you have an organization that tried something, and the Dolphins have tried the new guy, they've done that basically every time. Stephan Ross has owned the team. I don't think he's ever hired a coach with head coaching experience. And this is going to be the first time that he does that because he's tried to. He wanted to get guys with head coaching experience with that Sean Payton pursuit. And trust me when I tell you, there's no shot that they're going to give this to another new guy. Like I would be stunned if that happens.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep on thinking Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh and Andy Reid are old and need to retire. Go ahead.
Well, I see we got a bunch of guys on hold. If you still want to join, go ahead, 305-567-0560. We'll get you caught up with your headlines here as Mike McDaniel has been fired as Miami Dolphins head coach. Being reported that they are going to pursue John Harbaugh for the vacancy. We will take a break. Omar Kelly's going to join us next hour. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Look, we got a monster night tonight, all right? We'll get to our headlines here real quick. We got a monster night tonight in sports, but we got to get to the task at hand, the news at hand of the day. And your headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Tonight you got the Fiesta Bowl, all right? We're canes out. We're decked out. Hurricanes, Ole Miss, tonight, 7:30. Countdown to kickoff begins at 3 p.m. on FM 104.3 WQAM. The Heat, they take on the Bulls at 8 o'clock. That's on AM 560. And the Panthers take on the Canadiens. After that, we were talking like GMs as the middle of last hour when we were talking about the GM list getting sliced down to 4. And then we're like, it's a little weird. You're going to interview a friend of John Harbaugh, and we're just leaving McDaniel hanging in the breeze. And not like a minute later, Schmeeth and Schmolnick, I thought he was trolling us here for a second. It's like, McDaniel fired. Mike McDaniel was fired as head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I'll give the statement one more time here from Stephan Ross for those who are just joining us, just tuning in. But this was Stephan Ross. He said, after careful consideration, that's not how you say that word, after careful evaluation and extensive discussions since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is in need of comprehensive change. I informed Mike McDaniel this morning that he has been relieved of his duties as a head coach, and then he gives him a lot of pleasantries. So the Dolphins have moved on from Mike McDaniel as their head coach. Omar Kelly is going to join us later on this hour. We'll talk to him about that. We'll get to some of your calls here in just a second, but obviously crazy. It is another moment after 4 years, Mike McDaniel. Now, a lot of people on Monday were sitting here because there was a report from Ian Rappaport that, McDaniel, he wasn't, the tone was that everybody was feeling that the Dolphins organization was going to stick with McDaniel. And it's one of those things where I was like, all right, but what if things change in this whole GM process, right? And I get people who will be like, the Dolphins left Mike McDaniel out to dry to that end of press conference. Like, look, you either fire him right after you do a Raheem Morris where you're going to fire him right off the podium. I genuinely think the Dolphins are probably thinking to themselves, let's just see what's out there. Let's let this all play out. They got to it very quickly. They got to the GM thing very quickly. The playoffs haven't even started yet. And I think in the midst of all this, we saw the Chad Alexander thing was an interesting Easter egg in all this, because the Dolphins had basically put out their list of candidates. There were a lot of 49ers guys on there. This John Eric Sullivan, the dude from the Eagles, who looks like he's 12. They didn't go with him. They're probably like too many Ivy League guys. I think they're actually all Ivy League guys. They're all very smart.
He went to Harvard, right?
Harvard. Yeah, he did go to Harvard.
Okay.
But after that was happening around 5:30, I think it was on Tuesday, we get that news that Chad Alexander was going to get an interview. And it's like, what are his ties? Oh, well, he's the assistant GM for Jim Harbaugh. Oh, and also he was working with John Harbaugh back in the day. We're like, oh, really? Right as the Harbaugh news was breaking that he's fired? Convenient. And so the Dolphins had to do this whole song and dance yesterday of like, we haven't reached out. And they're still saying they haven't reached out. They haven't reached out. Troy Aikman might have reached out. I don't know who's reached out. Someone's reached out.
Dan Marino probably reached out.
Dan Marino probably reached out. Somebody reached out. Did the Dolphins? No, but I'm sure through liaisons and back channels they've had hey, Harbs, you want to come on down here? And by the way, I think it's hard to keep up on what's real on Twitter or not, but I think his daughter plays lacrosse at USF. So like some people in Tampa speculate, Todd Bowles is out. Well, Todd Bowles is staying. So what's this close? Right here, he can be right close to his baby girl playing lacrosse. So
5-hour drive.
Feels like with the relationships that Stephan Ross has had with the Harbaugh family, he's obviously Michigan's like one of their, if not their biggest booster. And the previous pursuits of the family, yeah, it's a pretty obvious tie down here. The only thing that I would say if you're Harbaugh is like, do I really believe we can clean it up down there? But if you're going to get your handpicked guy to get the job, then all of a sudden it looks a bit more attractive. For Mike, go ahead. Bud.
I'm saying what you're saying is right, but does now that make everybody else that want other teams that want John Harbaugh, they're gonna give him pretty much anything that he wants now? Because you got to, what you're saying is everything's kind of lining up for him to be the coach of the Miami Dolphins, especially if they get the GM that used to work with him. But there are other things that are, as other teams who have similar situation or better situations. Miami doesn't have a quarterback.
No, that's 100% true. I would say, though, one of the things that these guys and these maniacs like, and this is why Sean Payton liked going to Denver, is you get to just build it how you want to build it. And the thing with the Giants, now maybe if they feel like they're going to get John Harbaugh, it comes down to keeping Joe Shane. Maybe that this is like the line of demarcation where they let go of the GM, but they still have a GM in place, and he may not want to. Maybe John Harbaugh wants to work it with his people and make things happen. So I think that it's pretty obvious where this is going. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of dominoes that have to fall, obviously, with all this. Let's get to some of your calls. Ricardo, what's going on, man? You guys can call 305-567-0560. What's going on, Ricardo?
Not much, folks. Good morning, everybody. How we feeling?
Good morning.
Feeling good, buddy. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And before I give my feelings on McDaniel's firing, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Topes.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you.
But I got to give you a -1.
Why?
For 5 to 6 years of us having to listen to that god-awful hour 2 of 2.
Wow, that's fair.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
Yeah.
you're welcome. I petitioned for it to get off.
You didn't
-1.
petition.
Appreciate it, JP.
You're
She
right.
didn't
I actually-
petition. You
Oh,
demanded it
hold on.
after the
I
Colts
demanded it.
game.
You're right, which is better.
Hold on.
You're
You-
welcome.
and you want to know something? I'm sorry that I was loyal and I tried to stick it out. It just got to a breaking point where the fans were revolting and we had to go through with it.
No,
I'm
Toby,
sorry.
That's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Well, Tua and McDaniel, they went hand in hand with each other, so But honestly, I would have rather he had gotten another shot, if I'm going to be honest, at least one more year with someone new, a new QB, a new system, a new year to learn everything and to get it right, rather than 3 weeks out of the last season of you guys missing the playoffs, which we missed like halfway through the year anyway.
Yep.
I didn't think it was a fair shot for McDaniel, considering the fact that we knew what Tua was and all his flaws and, everything that crumbled underneath him, as we saw. I'm going to try to give my best Leroy analogy to that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McDaniel was the girlfriend in a toxic relationship saying, after seeing all those red flags, oh, I can fix him. And that's what led with Tua. But on the other hand, like I said, they go both ways. So
Yeah, but
Tua
what
was
if?
out, as we saw.
But here's
And
the
now
thing.
McDaniel's gone too.
This is what I would say to that, right? People want to do the relationship thing. This is also like if you've nobody would ever look at you twice at a bar and get a relationship. Like also the fact that Tua fell in love with you and you're like, oh, I love you. No, I love you. You don't get to have a pass now all of a sudden. If you're in a marriage, you got to deal with the flaws. That's marriage. You got to love everything about a person. So if Mike McDaniel never got looked twice because he was Shanahan boy and didn't even get to call plays, and the only person that would look at him twice at a bar was Jeff Wilson, sorry, Tua was his guy. For better or for worse. That's a marriage, dude. It got to for worse. 2 for worse. And your side piece, Quinn Ewers, he stunk too.
Not the side piece.
Sorry. He'll get another. Look, he's going to get a chance. I'm sure he's going to get as many offensive coordinator interviews as John Harbaugh gets head coaching interviews. I'm sure everyone's going to want him razzle-dazzle. No pressure to be the leader. No weekly press conferences. No him being the voice of the team. Just calling up cool-ass plays. And if Mike McDaniel's going to land on his feet just fine. Can he lead an organization? I don't think so. But that's okay. Other great coaches who are great coordinators all the time couldn't do it. Vic Fangio, one of them. Revolutionary defensive mind. He stunk as a head coach too. Now he'll blame COVID, but that's what the old do. The old love blaming COVID. They do love blaming COVID. You can't say that they don't, Vlad.
It did happen.
I mean, it did happen.
Right.
I mean, you say that they're blaming something that never happened. It did happen.
It happened for quite some time, too.
Handsome Daffy, wrap it up here for us, man. We're going to get to Omar. What do you got for us, buddy?
All right, man. I just want to say good morning to all of y'all. And what I want to say is, Mama Toes, if you're listening, you're the real MVP. That's it. No, I just wanted to say to the other caller who said he didn't want Harbaugh or Tomlin.
Yep.
people seem to forget we're in a cold weather division. They're used to building cold weather teams. This is where we lose. Every time we play a cold weather team, we lose. So it's like, why wouldn't you want them? And they have winning pedigrees.
Yeah.
So that didn't make any sense. And him saying we shouldn't celebrate, yeah, I'm going to celebrate.
Yeah.
All day.
Don't feel bad.
I'm already calling people right now about that.
All right, Handsome Daffy. Thanks, man. We're going to take a break. Omar Kelly scheduled to join us from the Miami Herald. We'll check in with him. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here today. Hope Leroy's enjoying his golf.
What a day to be golfing.
What a day to be golfing with bazillionaires, right? He probably knew before we did. He's got those Michigan ties.
Sources.
He's got those Michigan ties. He probably was like, yeah. Anyway, we'll pipe in with him. We'll find him later on in the program as well. But let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Job over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Omar Kelly, Miami Dolphins columnist from the Miami Herald, joins us there. Omar, appreciate you hopping on with us, man, in this crazy day with
absolutely
Mike McDaniel officially getting let go. Now, I was following you carefully on social media, man. You kept saying, hey, man, Stephan Ross hasn't said anything yet. He ain't said anything yet. As chipper as maybe Monday's or as confident as Monday's press conference went for Mike McDaniel, we get the news today. It's done. I guess, what was your reaction to it? Surprise level, and what do you think about the decision?
Not surprised. Mike is a good man. Mike is a good coach. I don't necessarily believe Mike is what this particular organization needs, not only just at this time, but in general. We tried it Mike's way. We tried it the nice guy's way. Unfortunately, I don't think that works here in South Florida. And people who have had success have told me it doesn't necessarily work here in South Florida. You need a MFer to make it work down here. And hopefully that's what the Dolphins are searching for. I knew that the Dolphins would not make a decision until they heard from all their general manager candidates, because the one mistake they didn't want to make is the same mistake they made the last time they searched for a general manager, which was to dictate to him what was going to happen and the terms of the game. And that's why they ended up with their fourth choice, because everybody else said, thanks, but no thanks. So they've learned from that mistake, didn't go into the situation of interviews with the general manager, basically coming with this formulated conclusion of what they needed to do. And ultimately, after they narrowed down the list of four, they decided to sit down with Mike, and they decided to let him go. The future, it wasn't fixable with Mike. And if we're going to do this, let's tear the Band-Aid off and let this thing air dry.
Do you feel like, was there a breaking point for him? Like, obviously they marinated on a couple of days, but do you think that whether it was starting terrible again, or just Tua, finally they realized it ran out, or once Chris got gone, what do you think was the point where they probably realized this isn't going to be the guy anymore?
I don't know if Steve Ross, the owner, realized this isn't going to be the guy anymore up until Cleveland. There was a just level of frustration, anger, disappointment that came out of that Cleveland situation. And you could tell from then Mike's days were probably numbered. Then they go win the Buffalo game. Then they go put together a winning streak. But ultimately, they still finished the season poorly. And I have been told that Steve Ross was all out on Tua very early this season, and there was no turning back from that. And yes, Mike eventually replaced him, but this whole organization, this whole team is built around Tua. And Steve came to the conclusion that that was taking the Miami Dolphins franchise absolutely nowhere. And then when you watch Seattle and Denver and Jacksonville, am I missing anybody else? Rebuild like this. New England. Rebuild like that. 2 years max on all of them.
Yep.
If not one for Jacksonville. You're saying basically, what the bleep? And that was, and I've said this from the very beginning. This organization needs a scorched earth cleanse, a nuke it, let all the grass die, and see what comes up from the earth. it's like cancer, man. You can't leave anything behind because it's gonna grow roots again and just infect the body. This organization has poor is an understatement culture, and it's not Mike, it's not Brian, it's not Ireland, it's not Tannenbaum, it's not Gase, it's not Hickey, it's not Sperano, it's not Parcells, it's not Ross, because what does he do outside of writing checks? They just need to start fresh.
Do you feel like Harbaugh is the obvious guy they're gunning for, or do you feel like is there somebody we're not seeing that will be this? Because the GM thing, I guess, is being reported they're going to try and finish that thing up, I guess, this week.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like the GM is going to go hand in hand, like it's going to be a guy that person works with? Are they out on first time coaches? What do you think that they're what do you think is their strategy here?
Steve Ross has an obsession with first timers, and he has flat out told me that. He believes there is a level of loyalty and work ethic that comes with first timers and people you give that opportunity to that I don't think he can let go. And this works in all of his businesses. However, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And I think that Steve has basically come to the approach or mindset that I need to do different than what I have done in the past. So if I have gone with a first-time coach, I probably don't need to do that this time. I think he's gone with how many first-time coaches? 4. Philbin, Gase, Flores, McDaniel. So that's 4.
Yeah.
I think
and he
we
inherited
could have
Sperano.
learned something from that.
Yeah.
Just a guess. What was the question again? Other than
do you think this is going to be all centered on Harbaugh first and foremost, or do you think they got some other ideas maybe in the fold?
I don't want the Dolphin fan to get all obsessed about Harbaugh. You shoot your shot. You let everybody know these are the terms. Ross loves his reputation as a big bidder, big spender, because it always, in his words, and this is his quote, gets him a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
So they will have a seat at the table, but I think you got to move really quickly off Harbaugh if he's not interested, because it's a black eye. And I think Harbaugh is not going to be the only very polished, talented candidate that's out there, in my opinion. I think there are going to be some people who get fired within the next 2 weeks after playoff performances or force their way out of their situations. Because keep in mind, it's not always about the firing. Sometimes it's about, I got 2 years left of my contract. What you going to do? You going to pay me? You going to pay me at the rate of what my peers are making? No? All right, then let's keep it moving. You go your way, I go my way. So there could be some of those situations in Green Bay and in Buffalo and in Pittsburgh, and those individuals might interest the Miami Dolphins. I am not certain how this thing gets played out. In a dream world, it's Harbaugh because he is a culture changer. But can I tell you that Harbaugh is going to instantly make Miami relevant, dynamic, a championship caliber team? No, because there's so much that comes with that. Harbaugh got lucky that Lamar saved his job, because I believe he was going to get fired in that 2020 season until he went to Lamar, and Lamar was dynamic, and that led to a really impressive resurgence. But look at Mike Tomlin. How long has it taken him to get a quarterback to replace Big Ben? He rode out the final years of Big Ben, probably keeping him longer than he should have. Doing the Dan Marino thing. No offense to Dan Marino and Dan Marino fans, but you know what I'm saying. You don't push out a legend. You even though the Dolphins pushed him out, you let him gracefully decide I can't play anymore, and that's what Mike Tomlin did. And yeah, they've drafted a number of quarterbacks, all busts. It is what it is. He's taking his shot with an old veteran team led by Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if that works. They didn't have DK Metcalf when they sort of fizzled out in the end of the season. But even if Tomlin becomes available, would he be interested in Miami? Is Miami the place for him? And I would argue to you, this isn't a place for everybody. This isn't a place. If you like, Pittsburgh is a different culture than Miami. Completely different culture. I don't know if you've ever, Pittsburgh is metal lunchbox, steel toe shoes, and hard hats. That's that culture of that city, the whole city. Miami is not like that.
That's also the thing that I'm interested with him, because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on Game Day Uncensored, right? And I'm like, I don't know how his age can't affect his decision making at this point, right? Like, you already got your son, Stephan Ross. Stephan Ross. Because like you got your son-in-law sitting there, and all of a sudden you're gonna slide in here and get like I feel like this just sets up for him doing something reckless. Like, as much as they need something clean, cleanse, I could see him doing something.
What has he ever done that's reckless though? It's funny you say that. What has he ever done that's reckless?
I mean, he got busted tampering for Tom Brady.
Like everybody tampers in the NFL.
He's the only one who gets
not good at it.
Yes, that's the point. Like that connotes recklessness.
You know how you tamper properly in the NFL? You hire a consultant.
Exactly, dude. You better.
He's learned his lessons.
I'm just saying.
How many times do you have to get powed before you learn how to do business in the NFL?
I'm just wondering if he goes like, calls up one of these disgruntled quarterback franchises, or trades all the way up to get Fernando Mendoza. Like, I don't think he's waiting. I feel like it's like, hey, we're bringing in big name coach. I'm doing it Big Ross's way. I'm going out here.
Big Rossi style. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. I think the only thing that I can say is I think he's learned from his mistakes of the past.
Okay.
And the tampering, the hiring of a consultant, man, if probably Roger Gill sat him down and said, and he in a meeting, and he said, bro, you punishing me for everything that everybody else is doing. And Roger Gill basically looked at him and said, you know, you're not getting punished for that. You know what you're getting punished for. And it was like, all right. And then Roger Gill was like, if you want to tamper, go get you a consultant. That's how everybody, keep your hands clean, brother. It was like he was out there selling dope by him on his own. Like, it's in his text history. Come on, man. You get a burner. What are you doing? But anyway.
Stephan Ross just learns to text broccoli. He goes, it's code.
Yeah, I gotta go grocery shopping. Let's go grocery shopping in Pittsburgh.
He's still old. He's still putting it in air quotes.
Yeah. I think this search, the fact that they have not contacted Jim Harbaugh yet before they removed Mike McDaniel, shows he learned from 2011. Keep it classy.
Happy anniversary, by the way, to that. To the boardroom. Before we get you out of here, Omar, I want to go back to the Tua thing. What do you think it was that had Stephen Ross out? Was it just him stinking? Was it words? Like, what was it that he was just like, I'm done with the dude? Because it's impossible that it's not tied to Mike. That's kind of what defined Mike, is that relationship.
I think the obsession, Steve has always been obsessed with a high-powered, high-flying scoring offense. He's like a fantasy football player. He wants offense. Well, in 2022 and 2023, they delivered that. 2024, not so much. 2025, definitely not so much. That's so, like, I think it was the Buffalo game that I heard, the first Buffalo game, and you're there. You see that you're not in the league with the division champions, and yeah, you beat them later, but it's like how do you like you and the quarterback doesn't look like he, at that time Tua didn't look like he looks now. So, but the quarterback just wasn't making plays, and the interception in the fourth quarter, Ross is aware that Tua can't beat really good teams. He can beat everybody else. So It's interesting to see how I don't think the infatuation ever came back. I don't think the love, the interest, the desire ever came back with him.
Appreciate the time, man. Thanks for hopping on with us today.
All right, guys.
Go check out Omar Kelly's work. Follow him at Omar Kelly. Go read his work in the Miami Herald. He does a fantastic job and appreciate him hopping on. Vlad, thanks for setting that up, man. We will take a break. If you guys want to get back in, we will take some of your calls at 305-567-0560. Reactions to the news of the day that the Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel. Already some new rumors percolating about him we'll get to as well. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on a lovely Thursday. Feels like a great night to move on to the national championship. Am I right, Canes fans? You, of course, will be able to hear that right here on FM 104.3 WQAM. Although today's radio show has been hijacked by the Miami Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel. Stephan Ross coming out with a statement earlier today that he is moving on. Vlad sent us during the Omar interview that the Browns are reportedly going to be interested in Mike McDaniel for their head coaching spot.
Leroy can't avoid him.
That was my first thought.
He was so mad. I mean, I've not seen Leroy that mad at a coach ever than he was this year. And now he may be stuck with him for another 4 years.
And by the way, that would show how bad Cleveland is.
Yes.
Like, you did see the fact that he can't win in cold weather.
Right.
And you play nothing but cold weather in that division.
And also, I just don't feel like he and Shador is like a great fit, just because Shador's kind of like improvise, tries to make big throws, like that timing stuff. I don't know. That doesn't feel like a match made in heaven. Now, if you're talking about believing in somebody, that I feel like he could have a great relationship with Shador on. But he's got ties to Cleveland. This is Mary Kay Cabot, longtime reporter for the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns just added a new name to their coaching search. They already knew him well. Mike McDaniel, who was fired Thursday by the Dolphins after going 7-10. He was a receivers coach in 2014 under offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. The Browns have long admired his brilliant offensive mind. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Mike McDaniel is going to land on his feet somewhere. And I honestly think that I'm sure he could be good just being an offensive coordinator. I just I do think that there were so many things about this job that it was too much for him. It was too much for him. By the way, I told JFig this, Vlad, but you know what you got to do always when there is a firing in an official statement?
What's that?
You got to go boots on the gram, and you got to go to the statement. All right.
That's where the real feelings come out.
It is where the real feelings come out when you go boots on the gram. And so I went to the Dolphins page.
Okay.
Clicked on the statement from Stephan Ross letting go of Mike McDaniel and decided, let's see who's liked it, if anybody's liked it from the Miami Dolphins.
Tua?
Long behold.
No. God, that would be juicy. Austin Jackson. Dolphins.
Hold on. Now you see, this is where Vlad has to break things down to a bone gristle. Wasn't Austin Jackson upset with the previous coach? Wasn't he and Tua saying that they had to go through dark times with Brian Flores?
Did say that.
And then now you're going to like after the new guy that when he was hired, he was, oh my God, he's such a difference than the previous guy. Mm-hmm. Now you're liking that the fact that he got fired?
You know what he would tell you, though?
What's that, J-Fig?
The facts have changed.
The facts have changed. Also, there's a little thing. People sometimes aren't happy. I have a statement from Mike McDaniel.
He said something?
Yes, from the Miami Dolphins Twitter account. They have just tweeted out.
Did he run out of characters?
Is there in the tweet?
No, I'm pretty sure he brushed it. I'm sure he had PR brush this up for him a little bit.
Okay.
This is what Mike McDaniel has said. This is a statement from the Miami Dolphins, quoting Mike McDaniel. Coaching this team and being part of this great franchise has been the honor of a lifetime. When I took this job, I had a vision of a team that was bonded together and played with passion and energy on the path to winning championships. I gave everything I had for that goal. I am disappointed, especially for the fans, that we did not have better results on the field, but I am grateful for every coach, player, and staff member who poured themselves into that vision alongside me. I'm grateful to Stephan Ross for the opportunity he gave me, a little-known coach at the time when he hired me. Most of all, I'm thankful to my wife, Katie, and daughter, Ayla, for their unending love and support. I love this game, the people, and the relationships that are part of it. I will forever cherish my time in Miami. That is a statement from Mike McDaniel.
I can't stand you right now, Vlad.
To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game. Don't lose. Who really cares? I would love to put a muzzle on. It annoys the heck out of me to verbally answer that question. That's not Mike McDaniel's way. What? I'm a big snack time guy.
What would Socrates say to that?
That a boy. I'm happy and I'm sad.
Wow.
I'm happy and I'm
just happy.
happy.
I'm just happy. Just happy. He's going to land on his feet just fine. Evan, what's going on, dude?
So you know what I cherish?
What's that?
I cherish Ruben Bain.
Yeah,
I
dude.
cherish Malachi Tony. I cherish Akeem Mesidor.
Yes.
I cherish Keontae Scott.
Yes.
And I cherish ESPN all morning, all over this whole Ole Miss. Oh, we got to win for Lane Kiffin. We don't care. Everybody's rooting for them. Bah, bah, bah. You know what? I hope they had that on this morning at the team meeting and just listen to it. Just put that on, because that's all Miami needs to go out there and beat the living you-know-what out of Trinidad Chimless. And, oh, he's the greatest quarterback in sliced bread, until he meets Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. And next thing you know, he's in the ground just like everybody freaking else.
Wow.
Go Canes. And that's the bottom line, because Evan said so.
Oh, wow.
Love the
Here's
energy.
with the Stone Cold, dude. How about that? Crazy, dude. That was
By the way, that picture of Bain smiling scares me.
it really does.
I think it's beautiful and should be framed.
You think so,
actually.
but you don't see, we know what that smile means.
Are you saying I don't?
Well, you like violence. So therefore, you know, you're gonna co-sign that.
Correct.
I know what the violence he wants to produce. I don't think it's good. It's good as a Kane fan.
Yep.
But you know,
man,
I feel bad for the individual who's gonna get that.
I have
that
seen
pain.
they haven't spent a ton of time on the Mike McDaniel thing today. They've been
No,
talking.
they
I mean, they
have
obviously
not.
have the game tonight, so I'm sure there's a lot of like, hey, we're pumping the game up. They want like the biggest numbers ever, which they don't need to, because like the Canes are going to take care of that. Everyone's going to turn in to watch this ass kicking they're going to give them. But you know, nonetheless, who else we got? Ross, what's going on, Ross?
Hey guys,
how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm gonna miss those reactions from JFig whenever they play the press conferences on Monday. I'll miss that. I'll miss seeing her on that. And then I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe the agent has just said, hey, yeah, you know, he's interested in you guys, so that we would go ahead and do this to drive the price up, because there's 7 other teams interested in him, and he really doesn't have any interest in coming here. But
the old Miami leverage
that's the only
play.
thing I'm worried about. I guess that's some beat down Miami Dolphins.
I get it, dude.
But anyway, man, go Canes.
All right.
See you guys.
See you, Ross. Take care, dude. He gets it. He's like, oh, I've seen this move before. Oh yeah, we're very, very interested. $20 million a year for me as coach. That's how interested I am. Some stuff here from Jeff Darlington that he's tweeted. Long tweet. Yeesh. Sometimes we have too many characters. Some context into the Miami Dolphins' decision to fire Mike McDaniel, per multiple people involved in the decision. Owner Stephan Ross met with McDaniel on Tuesday, and the outcome of that meeting left Ross very conflicted. He really likes Mike, quote, loves his intelligence and offensive mind, but Tuesday's meeting resulted in some hard thoughts. Ross didn't feel like the results were there despite the end-of-year production. Ross simply wasn't comfortable with moving forward with, quote, status quo, which, of course, is what he said in his statement last year when he kept McDaniel and Chris Greer. He goes, status quo is not good enough. Would have been crazy. Now, Jeff Darlington continues on Twitter. Now for the elephant in the room. I'm told the Dolphins have not yet been in touch with John Harbaugh or anyone in his camp. People close to the decision are adamant that this decision to move away from McDaniel is independent of Harbaugh's availability. Sure. I'm told the Dolphins will conduct a head coaching search after the GM is in place, which should be in the next few days. Obviously, it could lead to discussions with Harbaugh. And yes, one of the GM candidates, Chad Alexander, is very close to Harbaugh, but people close to the situation tell me the decision to fire McDaniel would have been made either way. He also says, I'm told the Dolphins expect to make a decision on their new GM by tomorrow. They meet with interim GM Champ Kelly on Wednesday, and the other 3 candidates, Chad Alexander, Josh Williams, and John Eric Sullivan, who flew to South Florida last night for in-person interviews that are taking place today. So we should know tomorrow who is going to be the GM, which will obviously give us a maybe if Chad Alexander's the GM though. I mean, come on, dude. That seems if he's not, I think we'll have our answer either way, right? If it's not Chad Alexander, I mean, maybe he likes the other guys from San Francisco. Maybe he likes Jim Kelly. I don't know. But one would think if he gets the job, and he's highly thought of, by the way, hell of a resume, right? Like he worked with the Ravens. Who are a great organization, great front office. The Chargers have had a nice little turnaround. He was with the Jets, was he not? With the Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson front offices, I believe he was with those. So
with Joe Douglas, yeah.
So I don't, everybody takes credit for the good things. Nobody takes credit for the bad things when they're in front offices. But we'll see. If he gets hired, feels very much like that would be leaning Harbaugh, you would think. So there you go. Cleaning of house. Let's go. Is this Clayton? What's up, Clayton? Clayton, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? So, just wanted to say like a couple things. It's mixed feelings about the Dolphins, man. I mean, like we want them to be good always, so you don't want to see everyone gone, but it's time. I was born in '94. The Marlins have tried to be bad most of my life, but we've seen them win 2 titles and no playoff wins for the Dolphins most of that time. So that sucks. But I'm looking forward to what we're gonna do. Hopefully we get to put the full court press on Harbaugh and make some good moves. But most importantly, I want to give a -1 and a fix it, dude, to the Village of Pinecrest because our payroll got messed up and I don't get paid tonight.
What?
I can't go out and watch the Canes game somewhere.
-1.
That is outrageous.
I don't even know if I have a button for that. Just
Yeah,
for
man,
rat
the
bastardry.
The last 2 playoff games, we got paid on the opposite week, so I was like kind of tight. And then this week I'm like, yes, finally I get paid the day before, and boom, no money.
That's a -1.
Bum. -1.
Sorry, Clayton. Go Canes, though. I like that we have turned our attention back to the Canes a little bit, though, because that is Goosey's galore tonight. And
Yeah, but here's the thing. The fact that Mike McDaniel's been let go.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we know Tua is probably not going to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins in the 2025 season. And the fact that Chris Greer was let go early in the year. Dolphins got what they want.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there was a lot. Like, even the people who were trying to paint that, Mike wasn't dealt a good hand. Dude, a lot of head coach, like, maybe you just want to put that on, because he had to deal with Tua. Like, that's why he got the job. He wouldn't have gotten the job if there wasn't Tua to fix. That's why he got the gig. Nobody else interviewed the guy. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, poor Mike McDaniel. He had to fix Tua. No, that's what his calling card is. That's what got him the gig in the first place, is they needed somebody after the whole Sean Payton, Brian Flores embarrassment. Plan B was, I guess we're stuck with Tua. We better fix him. And so they went opposite from a guy who hated Tua's guts, who loved him up, got him to be a capable quarterback, put up monster numbers. And he also got a Ferrari in Tyreek Hill, who went on and broke the franchise receiving record 2 straight years. He got record numbers put up. Hey, man, he was brought in with a pretty decent roster. A flawed, delicate roster because it was full of old, delicate players. But a lot of first-time coaches don't get to come into that. A lot of first-time coaches got to come in and their teams suck. Gerard Mayo comes in with a roster that sucks. Brian Flores comes in with a roster that sucks. Mike McDaniel, he got to come in a little bit. He got to come in on third base. They almost got there, but the injuries caught up. They had flaws of winning in cold weather, and they really never beat a ton of good teams. 2 wins against the Bills, that game against the Cowboys, those stand out.
The comeback against the Ravens.
The comeback against the Ravens early on. Oh, man, that's a game for all time. We'll always have that.
That was week 2.
It was a great, but the comeback was crazy.
The comeback was
It was a crazy game.
But it was week 2.
But that was in his first year, dude. His first year. He was not given a bad situation. He may be believing in Tua too much and wanting to invest in him right away. All right. There's a flaw that he definitely had a flaw with how he couldn't separate relationships and the job, and seemed to have a little bit of trouble mixing that. And so I wanted to, I feel for him, but this is what you get with a first time head coach. You're not going to be good necessarily at everything right away. And he had some big blind spots. Didn't work out, Yeah, there was some way. Okay, a ton of defensive coordinators. Here's news, dude. He seems like he's rats off a ship on Weaver, by the way, who's got more interviews than he probably will for head coach right now. So I don't know. I don't feel like he was given a raw deal here. He had 4 years.
That's a term.
That's a term.
Yeah.
That is a term.
That's a term.
You got losing record. The
Last
record
2
got
years.
worse the last 2 years. Didn't make the playoffs the last 2 years. And some of the flaws that were always there only got more exposed. There are some benefits. Okay, good. He changed his style this year to a run game. Guess what, dude?
A little too late.
This offense was not exciting with it being 8-chain or nothing. He's exciting, but this was not an offense that put fear into anybody. It wasn't. So I don't know why anybody would be like, oh, my God, the Dolphins are letting a genius walk out the door. He's no genius. He's a big snack time guy. That's what he is.
Snack guy?
That's what he is. He's a big snack time guy. But he's no genius. Take a break. More to come. We're back after this. I took a break for the NBA just a second because of two things. One, Giannis Antetokounmpo, so effing done with the guy.
You say that just for now.
No, I'm done. I'm so done with the Giannis thing. I'm done with two things. Giannis and Jonathan Kuminga rumors. Uncle, I am done. And we'll get back into the Mike McDaniel thing in just a second, but I was just trying to explain to Vlad and J-Fig my loser night that I had last night because I am a loser. And that is because I got the news that the Miami Heat are not waiving Terry Rozier's contract. It made me think, well, maybe they're working on trades. And I know that's a delusional, stupid thing to say, because why would they be working on good trades? But now, the belief is now, although they still don't have official announcement from Adam Silver, is that that they could use Rozier's contract in a trade. And so I did a bunch that are never going to happen because I don't know if you guys saw Trae Young went for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. No picks, nothing. And they're going to apparently the Hawks are going to try and get Anthony Davis. So we'll see what goes on there. Which is, going to have every Heat fan here mental. But I had one trade idea with the Terry Rozier thing. And I was like, God, there's no East teams to really trade this to. Like, there's nobody in the East that has somebody outside of like maybe like a Hero Michael Porter trade, something like that. There's not really a Rozier gets to beef up to get a star with a team that's bad enough. And I was like, well, I guess we could trade him to the Hornets. I was like, can't, but I'm like, oh, that's stupid. Why you can't? They're not going to do that. These teams, they got to be probably at war. But I was like, well, what if you did Rozier and Fontecchio? No picks. We forget the whole thing ever happened. But you got to give us LaMelo Ball. And that was my trade. That's what I spent my Wednesday night doing.
Trying to figure out a way to get Melo.
I was just trying to figure out what to use with the Terry Rozier money. You know, I did a Zion and Trey Murphy III for Terry, Tyler, and a pick. Because they're like, oh, we want 2 picks for Trey Murphy. I'm like, calm down. We all like Trey Murphy. Nobody loves Trey Murphy. Okay, he's a nice player. And we'll get the Zion thing. And oh my God, Zion. Jesus, dude.
You know what's crazy? I just
What do you do
saw
now?
all the messages you sent last night.
Oh, you just did?
Oh, he went crazy.
You just saw it?
I just opened it.
You just opened that?
Honestly, I was exhausted yesterday, so I went to sleep early. But what is look?
I sent J Fig, Marcos, and Leroy Vlad. I sent them 6 fake trades. But if I told you what happened with Zion, what do you think happened with Zion?
He got hurt again.
That's good. If it wasn't that, what else do you think it was?
He tried to slide in somebody's DMs and got exposed.
He had another ass model expose him for sending her $2,000. Now, I don't know why she's exposing it. Apparently, he seemed like a nice guy. He was over at her house, or she was over at his house with a fireplace. And, he's got his type, which is really big fake asses. That's his thing.
He likes them thick.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't know if he could last down here, to be honest with you. I really don't.
You think?
I mean,
I don't know if he could last down here. Anyway, and I'll get to the Giannis thing maybe a little later, but we got to get back into the Dolphins. Headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or doralkia.com. The Miami Dolphins, they fired, if you're just getting on your lunch break, the Miami Dolphins have fired Mike McDaniel as their head coach. Stephan Ross making that announcement today. What was it? It was like around 10:25-ish.
10:40, like 10:30, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. They made the decision. And, there was a lot of Harbaugh smoke that started happening yesterday. And this is the thing. The Dolphins are trying to present. I do appreciate them doing this because I thought it was silly with all the stuff happening and all the Harbaugh smoke. And, as Omar says, there's no guarantees they're going to get John Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. But they very clearly are interested in John Harbaugh. And it just would be such a dumb, bad look for an organization that's very clearly not pleased enough with their head coach to string him along and keep him around. It's not the right thing to do. He should be allowed to move on. You should just move on. It's just clear that's where you got to. So Stephan Ross put out a statement today. He thanked Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel put out a statement through the Dolphins today. He's very thankful. The Dolphins are doing their in-person interviews for their last 3 candidates. They interviewed Champ Kelly yesterday for the job. They are interviewing Chad Alexander, who has ties to Harbaugh, John Eric Sullivan, who's from Green Bay, and Josh Williams from San Francisco. They're apparently interviewing today. Jeff Darlington's reporting that they're probably going to make their decision tomorrow on who their GM is. If it is Chad Alexander, I think we all know where this is going to lead, which is John Harbaugh being the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. But we'll see. We'll see. That is as of right now. We're still waiting, but the Dolphins are trying to put this wrong. Whoa. We were not interested. We have not reached out. And John Harbaugh, we're interested, but we have not reached out. It's like, okay, we get it, guys.
Did you hear the wink in that?
Wink. Exactly, J Fig. So that's where we're at. Mike McDaniel, according to reports out of Cleveland, could be a candidate for their head coaching position. And everybody's saying, like, oh, he's going to have a gazillion offensive coordinator offers. A lot of people are speculating McDaniel will land on his feet if he's an offensive coordinator, possibly in Washington because of his relationship with Dan Quinn.
That's right. They left. Cliff Kingsbury left that position to try to get a head coaching job.
Yep. And Mike McDaniel, Jaden Daniels. I think that'd be kind of fun. They got Debo there too, right? Him and Debo are tight.
Yeah, but Debo,
he's washed. Hey, they thought Mostert was washed. You got a year out of him. Maybe he gets the best whatever's left in Debo. Maybe. I don't know. That one seems to make a lot of sense if he doesn't get a head coaching job. Either way, that's where we're at right now with the Miami Dolphins. That's where we're at with the whole situation, and where things stand as of this hour. So, if any other news on it breaks, we will let you know. I get a couple people, by the way. You know what? I'm happy that this happened, by the way. Okay. I started today's show. I am wearing my Cane shirt from Canes Wear.
You are decked out.
All right. I am Canes up and down today, and I'm wearing my hat, which is just Sebastian wallpapered all over a hat. It's the only hat I have like this. But I got, and people are like, oh, where'd you get that hat? Nice hat, Tobin. I didn't like the tone.
You're trashing your hat.
And now I'm getting people like, I like that hat. So I just want to
saying that.
Maddie has just gotten to me on social media. I had somebody else say it in the chat. And so I just want to let you know, you get it from Parks and Rec on Instagram. Go check it out. Rec with a W. It's play on words.
Gotcha.
My guy Alex, he does the art there. Schmieden says, what did he say? You're dressed like an international tourist who just left the swap shop. And Schmieden got very mad at me because I'm confident in the Canes. He's like, how dare you say the Canes are going to kick their ass tonight? You're going to jinx it.
Are your shoes on?
I'm going to. Let me ask you something, Schmieden. Imagine you had the audacity to go up to Mario Cristobal, who won't allow a fruit basket near him, and be like, you know why you guys lost? Because this Tobin said that you were going to give him 2 tickets to Blowout City. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to kick their ass today. All right? It's very nice. It was a nice story. This whole Ole Miss thing. It's cute. But I'm sorry, dude. I just feel like the Miami Hurricanes are going to walk in there and they are going to basically throw them into just an absolute ass kicking. That's what I think.
So let me ask you this. If you think, you're this confident in this game?
Yep.
And if they win, how much will you have the same amount of confidence, or will you even be more overconfident at the national title game at Hard Rock Stadium in their home field?
I'm glad you asked that question because I haven't even been allowed to imagine them being in the national championship because I got yelled at on Monday about it by Leroy and Brittany. Oh my God, Brittany was going to kill me. You know, thankfully she's not here right now. But I've been saying to everybody, Vlad, I said, I think tonight is 2 tickets to Blowout City. And then I feel like the next game is 50-50. I don't know they can win the next game. I think both of those teams are really good that they would go up against. Now, if Ruben Bain flosses Trinidad Chambliss and just like uses him as a toothpick today, who knows where my cockiness level will be? I don't know. It may go to irrational places, but I can't think about that right now. Right now, task at hand. Task at hand. But I do think that task is going to come with 2 tickets to Blowout City for Ole Miss. That's just what I think. And I'm sorry. I don't mean to be overconfident, cocky Canes fan, but I just think in this particular matchup, their time is up. That's what I think. All right? What's the meme? The white rabbit pointing to the clock? That's Ole Miss right now.
So you John Cena all of a sudden, you thinking that their time is up?
Yeah.
Your time is now?
Exactly, dude. And they can't see
The meme of
this ass kicking coming. I love the John Cena submission meme.
Point for Tobin.
And everybody who's saying the Canes are done, you're all just a bunch of salty Seminole and Gator fans. That's all it is. All right? So if you're a Gators fan right now, do me a favor. I don't even know your coach's name, but go pick a banjo and go find a fine pair of jorts, because that's what brings you happiness right now, not your football team.
John Cena reference.
Okay? And if you're an FSU fan, go root for Mike Norvell, dude. I'm sure he's got it figured out.
They got a great student body.
I'm sure they do. Take a break. More to come here on the show. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. 104.3 WQAM on YouTube. Miami 104.3 WQAM on Twitch. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Dude, I haven't even looked at the NFL playoffs this week. I haven't thought about them. I haven't looked at them.
Oh, you got tomorrow.
It's been a whirlwind week, dude. Between the Canes and, the Heat getting their ass kicked, and now the Dolphins news that's gone willy-nilly. The kids were back at school this week, so schedules were all different. Look at all you. You all got responsibilities again. Throws a monkey wrench into things. So I haven't even looked at these damn games this week.
It's easy.
You got time.
Rams going to kill Carolina.
Agreed.
Chicago and Green Bay will play a NFC Central or an NFC North battle.
Kind of got to believe in the Bears now, though, right?
For some reason, Green Bay is a bad matchup for them for some reason. I don't know. And then you got Sunday. Sunday, the game I want to see is how you're going to feel.
With what?
Well, you were once a fan of this team, and then, you gave them up.
Well, they gave up on me.
They can't give up on you.
They did.
Teams can't give up on their fans.
Want to bet?
Fans can give up on
Want to bet, dude? Hire Urban Meyer. See how you feel.
Oh, my God.
See how you feel.
But
see how you feel.
Jacksonville versus Buffalo is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because Buffalo, this is it, Josh Allen. There's no Lamar.
Agreed.
There's no Patty.
This is the easy street.
There's no Burrow. Like, this is your easiest path to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But you're going to have to do it on the road.
Yep. Well, I think they get it done because I can't believe Duval is going to be sitting here winning a playoff.
You just don't like Duval, dude.
I don't like Duval.
Well, guess what?
I don't like Duval, and I don't like their smug GM, and I don't like their ownership. I don't like.
Oh, you don't like Shad Khan?
No, I like Shad. I don't like his son.
I don't like his son either.
His son is annoying.
Yeah.
You want to know another one that got me? When he showed up to the draft room when wearing the brace like kayfabe.
Yeah, come on, like ridiculous.
Grow up, Peter Pan.
Tony Khan.
49ers, Eagles. Think Mike McDaniel's brought in as a consultant for Vic Fangio?
No.
Hey, Mike, you know him. Come on. You don't think he's going to be brought in for Shanahan? Chargers, Pats. Of course, we will have our new GM. Well, maybe Chad Alexander's battle against. We'll see what his players can do against Vrabel. Big test. I think it's kind of crazy the Dolphins are getting this done in 3 days. Does it seem fast? It seems fast.
Well, it's fast, but it's smart because once these players are done, you're right into owners meeting and combine.
Yeah,
you need to have a general manager and a head coach by that time. Well, way before that time.
Shai Johnson says he got pile drive. What's your problem?
Who got pile drive?
I guess Tony Khan. Is that how he got? Is that why he had the neck brace on?
He got pile drive, and it's a show. We all know it's a show.
We know it's a show. You don't have to show up to the draft.
I don't want to see you on NFL Network with a brace on. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, the GMs. I don't know because it was like they picked their guys. I'm not surprised they had their guys narrowed down, right? Because they had 2 months to figure out who do they like.
So when have they been talking to the GMs?
They apparently did Monday, Tuesday. Zoom.
So Monday, Tuesday.
Yep.
And you asked the question that many. You would think Stephan Ross, his son, right? Son or son-in-law? Son-in-law. They're asking the general managers, would you keep Mike McDaniel as head coach? Allegedly. If it's true, I'm going to tell you, I have a feeling that a lot of them said no, it's time for him to go. And this is why when Stephen probably talked to him on Tuesday evening,
right?
He loves Mike, but some of the answers and then some of the, things he heard from, possible general manager candidates probably led him to make the decision on Thursday. And perfect timing, by the way.
Yeah, and I only think that McDaniel had a chance is if they stuck with Champ Kelly. If Champ Kelly's like, oh, I know, come on, man, just give us a fresh start here. New guy. And I don't know, listen, I feel bad for Champ Kelly. I don't know if he's good at the job or not. All he did was trade Jalen Phillips. That's it. He didn't really get any other chances.
I know he's not a big Tua guy.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you seen something around that locker room?
No, I just heard that that when the Pittsburgh game happened and they were, some of the throws and like when they were down, they weren't able to go hurry up or anything like that. He wasn't thrilled with the quarterback position.
It was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing night. And it was kind of just the final nail in the coffin for Tua's career. It was. And yeah, Tua's going to go down as a coach killer because he took out he basically took out Flores and he took out Mike McDaniel now.
Flores is looking like roses coming out like roses right now.
The only interview he's got right now is the Ravens, right? I think that's the only one I've seen him get. I thought he was going to get more because the other thing that didn't seem like it happened, and I was talking about this yesterday. Flores, they kept talking about, Tom Brady's going to bring him in. They're going to renet the Patriots, and I'm like, why would Tom Brady bring him in if Brian Flores thought that he was washed? That didn't make sense to me, and he's not getting interviewed, at least as of right now. I don't believe he's getting interviewed by the Raiders. So Ravens are the only one that's out there for him as a job's concern. But it is a little interesting, Vlad, and this is why I brought it up to Omar, is just because it is a little bit like, all right, it does feel like everything's going in the direction of Harbaugh, but if it's not Harbaugh, then who? Like, who is the yeah, I guess.
And also, like Omar said, and
if Tomlin
which is
shakes
kind of
loose,
weird for me because they saying a lot of these coaches that are in the playoffs right now could be let go, and I'm like, you really gonna let Matt LaFleur go? If you're Green Bay,
especially with everything they dealt with this year,
you made the trade. Yeah, you made the trade for Micah.
SDI says we all know they're going to end up with Weaver as head coach, right? That would be something. But Omar's point about, hey, look, Stephan Ross, look, he has a trend of hiring the first-time head coach. You can't ignore it. 100% is 100%. That's what he's gone with.
But that new GM might be telling him no. And that's the other thing.
Right.
If with the new GM, is he going to give him, full power? Is he going to have to be part of it? Because the reason why I asked that is because remember Chris Greer was like, well, I wasn't really there to make a lot of these. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're the general manager. What do you mean you weren't there to make some of these decisions?
The thing that I found annoying about Chris Greer by the end of it is like he didn't like how Brian Flores was shutting him out. And then he's like, I'm so collaborative. I'm collaborative with everybody. And then he's like, well, now I'm too collaborative. It's like that dude was good at one thing, and that was just keeping his job and kissing his boss's ass. That's it. That's what he was good at. Couldn't evaluate talent, couldn't pick a good player, traded everything for stars or traded stars for a lot of picks. Like he did nothing of special note other than they were good at finding undrafted cornerbacks. He seemed to have a niche there. But I think if the Harbaugh, we're going to know if Alexander gets the job, that kind of feels like Harbaugh's in the bag. If he doesn't, it doesn't feel like they're going to get John Harbaugh, which, look, I'm not obsessed with him as a candidate. I just think that, you could kind of, with all of the action that was happening, you could read the tea leaves. I know the Dolphins want to make it seem like, no, this was independent. We'll see. I understand why you guys have to do that, and I'm not calling any of the reporters liars. I just think that, come on, dude. Like, we don't have to say 2 + 2 = 4 here. We can all go through this and figure out, something seems like it's up. And the connection to him, the bringing in the GM candidate late, this is all happenstance, coincidence. No. I don't think so. But if he doesn't get the job, maybe he botched the interview. Maybe he stunk. Maybe they're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know. So maybe it's not a done deal yet. We'll find out. Take a break. More to come here on the show. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Busy night of sports ahead of us, and I know what you're all thinking. You cannot wait for Heat Bowls tonight for the title of Kings of Playinville.
Exactly what we're
That's what you're looking forward to, Jennifer.
Yes.
I know it. I know it. All hail the lords of Playinville. The Hawks are trying to get out of Playinville. They traded Trey. They said he has served his time in Playinville enough. That's where they're at with that. So,
You
no.
think it's weird that Trey wanted to go to Washington rather than Miami?
No, I don't think it's weird at all because I think he wants to go somewhere. First of all, I didn't know Vlad, but apparently the guy who drafted him is in their front office now. So there's a tie there, and they got some nice young pieces.
Yeah, Sarr's a good player.
No one's gonna bitch about him getting the ball all the time yet, and he could try and roll that into an extension. So now I wasn't that surprised. The Miami thing, I told you, I don't think Miami was doing that unless they were going to get something along with it. You know, that was what would have made sense for me. So I didn't think it was that surprising, and we'll see where the Heat are headed with their situation because they got one of those things that's looming as well, especially because Tyler seemed quite frosty after the game coming off the bench. He did not seem to love that.
Really?
Oh yeah, you didn't hear him? I'll play it for you. This was after the game, after they lost.
Third game since you played off the bench since you won the six-man award. Obviously, it's a little different. What was that adjustment like?
It's cool. It's not really an adjustment, just playing basketball.
And is that something that if coach wants to keep things copacetic the way they are, you'll just move forward through? If he wants to keep things the way they are before you came back, or is it something you're pushing for?
Ask him.
Ask him. Ask him.
Didn't even let the reporter finish speaking.
Well, I think he was tired of Ira.
Exactly.
You answer Ira's questions, Tyler. It's a fair question. All right. If Ira's going to be up there freezing his ass off in Minnesota after you guys just screwed the pooch, don't get mad at him. Just asking a reasonable question. Ask him.
Ask him.
All right, dude. Chill.
Sounds like a guy that wants to be gone.
And perhaps. I also found it convenient that the Heat then look, I'm not saying you guys are lining these things up, but it was very convenient that all of a sudden they put the buddy interview with Tyler and Bam out. I was like, oh, okay. I want to see that. Get the little air freshener, little vibes air freshener after that one. I see what you're doing. It was some interview they did before the season, and they're like, yeah, Spo is happier than ever. I've never seen Spo this happy. I was like, and so I commented, I said, what was his mood last night when he told you guys had no fight? And then when he was asked about Tyler, he goes, it's a decision. I'm not telling you about it. I'm like, oh, he seemed it all seems like it's on the up and up. I'll expect them to be in a good mood. They lost. They got their asses kicked. They'll take these next two, though. They're good against bad teams. That's what they do. Thunder, though, Thunder are licking their chops. They're like, whew, slump busterville coming on Sunday.
Yeah, they had their slump buster yesterday. There were some good games.
Who'd they beat yesterday?
The Jazz in overtime. They had to come back and win.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw Quickly had a game winner last night.
Quickly had a game winner. Pablo Banchero had a game winner for Orlando.
Oh, that's right. He banked it in, right?
Yeah. And
you had the Spurs beat the Lakers. I watched a little bit of that
Nuggets
game.
beat the Celtics without Jokic.
That's impressive.
That was
because the Celtics have been playing good.
Knicks beat the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi played well, and then he faded. Then a friend of mine who's a Kawhi fan started talking great about Kawhi, and I'm like, all right, if I give you $1,000 right now, and I told you you can make a bet, what are you betting on? Kawhi not getting injured or Kawhi leading the Clippers to the playoffs?
Right.
He said he's leaning towards Kawhi taking the Clippers to the playoffs. I told him he's a numbnut.
I don't think so. Too much damage already on the season.
Absolutely.
If they were in the East, maybe.
Right. Like you in the West, you can win 7 in a row. It's not going to get you out of like 13th place.
Josiah says, if I'm Tyler, I'd be upset too. You're telling me you don't want to extend me because I'm hurt, yet you pay a max player who can't score over 10 points. Listen, maybe he is. I'm sure. I don't know. I don't think he'd be. I do think. I'm sure there's a little bit. I said this yesterday on Bam. Bam is like the Heat teacher's pet. Like I think that's what it is. Like, oh, Bam did everything right. Bam did that. Bam plays the best defense. I think everybody gets sick and tired of hearing about Bam. Not in a bad way. It's just because everybody in that organization respects him so much and they love him so much that like your friend, like, we get it, you know? I don't know if like you ever have something like that? You're like, oh, we get this guy's the greatest. You say it all the time. I don't need to, you know. So if I'm a Heat, I'm sure Jimmy got it. Oh, he goes, Bam did the media. Bam did this. Bam had the covers. So I think Tyler's probably like, let me use Bam this. Oh, well, how about hit a jumper? And then Bam's like, how about you stay in front of somebody? And then all of a sudden their little bromance interview turns into a cat fight.
Well, literally, they're Wildcats.
That's right. Wildcat fight. And then Calipari has to come in and mediate.
No, Ross could come down. He's a former Wildcat. I think that's the reason why he likes some of these players, because they're from his alma mater.
Probably. He actually made that joke one time after the Justice Winslow thing. Because they hit.
They went for a Duke player, right?
Yeah. He's like, oh, these guys over there, they're like, all the Arisons, they love Duke guys. And then they went back-to-back Wildcats. What's going on, man? What do you want to say?
Hey, because I called it actually talk about the Dolphins.
Go ahead.
Kind of missed Tobin taking away Leroy taking away points from you.
I know. Sorry, buddy. He's not here today.
Yeah, I know. On the Heat, real quick. It's weird that after LeBron left and those guys, that they don't want to spend any more money on big name players. It's supposed to be doing an amazing job, but he's not spending money on big name players right now for years. And I want to switch you to the perfect guy for the coach, which would draw a good a GM, and he'll make the team win. Why isn't anybody talking about Gruden? He's got a long history with the Dolphins. He loves Shula. He loves the old. He did a hell of a lot of things on the news about how the Dolphins went back with the winning days in the 72s. And what's wrong with Gruden? That would draw a hell of a GM and a winning.
Here's what I think on Gruden. One, he hasn't won in a very long time. He didn't win with the Raiders. And the other thing is he's got a lawsuit against the NFL, and that's still going on. And that seems like it's going to go to trial and he might win. So I don't know where he stands in all that, man. Like, I don't love that he hasn't been an effective coach in a very long time. And then you have on top of it the legal baggage. I just don't think they're going to touch that. I would be surprised.
And I don't know if you want to give him control. Look at the control he had with the Raiders.
Well, who did he brought in? He brought in the TV fella, right?
He brought in Mayock. And they let him go.
What are you going to do this time? Bring in Mel Kiper?
I'm saying. No, he's going to bring one of the Barstool guys.
This is Big Cat. He's my co-host. You guys will. He's going to be my GM here. We got Portnoy. He's going to be my offensive coordinator.
Oh my God. Portnoy as your OC is crazy.
He's going to be sitting there. He's going to be doing pizza reviews while he calls plays. No, I'm telling you. I think. I don't think. I've heard the Gruden thing. I even before Mike McDaniel got fired, people were talking about Gruden. Look, guys. Gruden is really good at media. At one point, he was the highest paid guy at ESPN. He's done a great job, whether it be the people at Barstool or if he's got the right guy. They've done a great job of, 2026ing his type of media style, just loving football and putting that out there and just being excited about everything. And he has been like in on the Dolphins. Like he's been talking about, them very positively. I get why Dolphin fans would be into John Gruden. I just don't know if he's an effective coach anymore. I just don't he didn't do anything with Oakland/Vegas.
He's not. People just love the fact of Chucky and they think, the intense look. We're gonna be tough. He's not that good of a coach anymore, guys. I don't know what your fascination with Gruden is.
Our boy Ara chimes in and he said, "What about Shula's grandson with the Rams?" Well, here's the thing. They interviewed that dude from the Rams. I think he got a Zoom interview, and I don't think he passed through. So I don't know if that was a package deal. Here's the thing I'm worried about bringing in Chris Shula. Truly, this is what I'd be worried about. What if he stinks? And then we have a Shula who stinks? I don't like that. It's tough. Like, I almost feel like he could go anywhere else, and I'd be like, all right, that's cool. I'd like that. You know what I mean? It's like when the former Canes from the next generation come to the U and they're not very good. You're like, that kind of sucks. It's awesome when they're great. But I'm a little worried about that. Like, what if Chris Shula comes here and he can't do anything? That would bum me out a little bit.
Yeah,
It would bum me out a little bit.
That would be sad.
So, we'll see. I think the thing that's interesting is it feels like we're going to have an answer tomorrow, basically on is the Harbaugh thing going to happen or not? Because if they're really deciding tomorrow, and maybe or in the weekend, if they really decide,
I love how Boss for Us is moving, baby.
He's getting to it.
He's getting to it, but he's stealth doing it. You know what I mean? Because look, what are we going to be doing tomorrow?
Hopefully celebrating a Canes win.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So celebrating a Canes win, talking about how great Ruben Bain and Messidor played, how great, big, little baby Jesus, look, Malachi Tony, all of that. And then we'll get, Adam Schefter just broke news. Dolphins signed so-and-so as the new general manager.
You think they want to take that attention away?
You're going to let it be known, but everybody's going to be just in, elation from the Canes victory, hopefully. So, people going to be like, oh, all right, good. Dolphins got a GM. Back to the Canes.
By the way, some Cats news today. Steve Goldstein, appreciate Goldie joining us yesterday. No Marchand tonight for the Cats. They have 8 regulars out tonight. Oh, boy.
Not Marshy.
Marshy's out. Yeah, Marshy's been banged up. Hopefully they'll get anything else. Anything I could chuck today? Doesn't look like it.
Haven't heard anything about
Haven't seen anything I could chuck. By the way, the Marlins yesterday, they did make that trade for Edward Cabrera. That became official. I was a little nervous because it sat like they were saying that trade was official or that the trade was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, just like no official word, right? And I was like, what the hell happened? By the way, you know what happened exactly today at 10:30? You want to talk about stumping on attention, Vlad?
Ooh.
Peter Bendix was supposed to speak at the media at 10:30.
Did they cancel?
I don't know. I was gonna be. I was like, I'd be in checking out the Zoom call with Peter Bendix. And I'm like, well, I'm on the air, so I can't do that. But I'm like, oh man, poor Peter Bendix. It's just gonna be like him alone talking about how they got this, how they got Owen Casey from the Cubs. It seems like the Marlins did really well on this trade. I don't trust Edward Cabrera. He's very talented, but he gets hurt all the time, and he was really wild throughout his career. I thought that was one of those where I was like, I'm kind of into this move, and they got this slugging Canadian who, typical prospect, like strikes out a ton, but has a lot of power, and we'll see if he works out. The only guy I saw everybody saying like a lot of the baseball nerds, like the Marlins fleeced him between getting this guy and Christian Hernandez and Edgardo de Leon. They said those prospects are really good. They did a good job for getting a guy who's had one good year with a lot of injury past. They said the Marlins did a good job, except for that Keith Law. He always hates the Marlins deals. That dude's an A1 fish hater. Anytime the Marlins make a prospect trade, Keith Law's like, it's actually not a good trade. I'm like, all right, thanks, Keith Law. Appreciate it, dude. If I need somebody to rain down on my parade.
Oh, wait, Trevor's a Canes. I mean, he's a Cubs fan. So he says Owen Casey stinks.
Owen Casey stinks?
Oh, yeah.
Shocking. He thinks that. Well, let me tell you something, Trevor. Cross your fingers Edward Cabrera gets through the season, dude. Because it's a coin flip. If he is healthy, though, he's really good. He looks like he was built in a lab. He's ginormous. He throws everything extremely hard. But you have no idea whether or not he's going to be able to get through a season.
So that means Sandy's the number one.
Yuri.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Yuri.
But maybe. I hope Sandy gets back to being a number one. That'd be great. And then they got these guys, Snelling and White, who are going to come up from the minors that I think really highly of. So I thought they got to get more power. And they said all the things the Cubs fans are saying on Casey is exactly what Baltimore was saying about Stowers. And look at Stowers. Stowers had a big deal. Now, it could spell bad that Stowers could be on the outskis. All right, that's enough Marlins talk for a day like today.
Thank goodness.
I think you've hit it. I think you know what?
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
No, I'm gonna give you props, Tobin. Round of applause.
Why, he stopped himself?
No, he talked Marlins, he talked Heat,
Good for him.
and he talked Cats. So he got every local team that had made some type of news.
He could have stopped with it.
And I listened to the Canes last night. I was listening to Hollywood call the Canes hoops team. Shout out to the Canes, by the way. Canes are rolling right now. Jay Lucas has these boys humming. They've only lost to 2 top 10 teams, J Fig. What, they won like 8 in a row? They're killing it this year.
You had a really eventful Wednesday.
Oh, you know what? It was great because you ever listened to, I haven't listened to, as a radio host, I haven't listened to a win on the radio in a long time. And that's how I was consuming the game yesterday, because I was picking up my daughter from youth group, and I was like, I'll flip it on, listen to the Canes. It was an exciting game. And great job by Hollywood on the call. They had him, covering, where the hell is that? Winston-Salem?
Winston-Salem.
Yeah. So happy that, man.
He's flown back. He'll be up in another 2 hours.
Dave South says Tobin got that hat because he signed up for the Miami Herald. Stop ripping on the hat, dude. It's a good Canes hat.
Signed up for the Miami Herald.
This is a very polarizing hat. People either love it or they hate this hat.
They either really love it or really hate it.
All right, we'll take a break, get you caught up with your headlines, get into Canes, Finns. I do want to mention this Giannis, this phony. Sick of him too.
Clip that.
What?
He's sick of him, and then if there's any rumors that Giannis wants to go to Miami,
He said he was.
He doesn't.
actually-
No, he doesn't want to be traded. He wants to be a Buck for life. Okay, good for you, 6'11" Bradley Beal. Good for you, dude.
oh wait, oh my God,
Good for him, dude.
Did you just call him 6'11"?
That's what he is. He lugs the chase. He just loves attention. That is what I like to refer to as the Bradley Beal. I'm gonna be a Wizard for life. Why does everybody just because I give my jersey to other players to wear in the locker room? Why do people think that I want to leave Washington? I want to be all right. I've seen this movie before. Tired of Giannis. All right. Tired of Giannis rumors. Not interested. Okay. No thanks. Because you know what he smells like?
A Greek freak?
Smells like phony. That's what he smells like.
Phony.
He's phony, dude.
And you're upset with that?
Yeah, I am upset with it. I know that he's not happy, but he wants to act, I'm not the bad guy. You know what happened? Here's what the Bucks told him. They told you to sit your keister down and you're going to play these games. You want to know why? Because we cut Damian Lillard and we paid a ridiculous amount of money for Miles Turner, and we're probably going to do something crazy like trade for Zach LaVine, and you're going to stay here at the end of the year till you like it, Giannis. He's like, all right, I guess I'm staying. I would never ask for a trade. I'm the good guy. Okay.
Sounds different than what he was saying a couple of weeks ago. I like being the
Does
hottest
every
girl.
time.
Remember, I like being the hottest girl in the party.
That's right. Hottest chick in the game.
Hottest chick.
Hottest chick in the game, right? Yeah. Okay.
Take a break. Final hour coming on up. We're back after this. I love my hat. Anybody in the chat who doesn't like my hat can go to hell. Be jumping into the pool tonight with this hat after 2 tickets to Blowout City. Welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQM. Countdown to kickoff is coming your way at 3 o'clock today as we get you ready for Canes and Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. We're going to give them a gift basket, all right. Gift basket of ass kicking. Get to your headlines here. Brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or at DoralKia.com. And if you guys missed it, we had Omar Kelly early in the program as the news was breaking through all this. We're going to bring that to you later on this hour. And check that on out. Dade South is going to hand him a gift casket. That's a point.
Man, that's dark.
That's not dark.
Proper point for you.
Proper amount.
It is proper for this, right?
It is. Him and Mesidor getting after it today. Cannot wait. The news of the day, obviously, is Mike McDaniel. He got let go as Miami Dolphins head coach. We've been talking about it all show. This Giannis, though, all right? Can I just say something real quick?
All right, get it out of your chest, man.
So I was reading this interview. He did an interview with Sam Amick, apparently.
Great reporter.
It's a great reporter. Very credible. And apparently yesterday after the Bucks lost to the Warriors, he was talking about the trade rumors that are around him, right? And he was walking to the bus and he was asked if the trade deadline before February 5th, if this was, going all right. And he says, there will never be a chance and there will never be a moment I will come out and say, I want a trade. He goes, that's not in my nature. Okay. It's like, all right, dude. Well, fine. You finally said it. Good for you. And he's out here and he's like, he's trying to make things all everything's cool, everything's status quo here. We're all trying to make this happen. And he said, so I've been around you and your team for a few days, talking to people in your mindset. I want to share my opinion, and you have to tell me if I'm off or not. It feels like there's no chance you're going anywhere before February 5th. He says, what's February 5th? The trade deadline. The way you've been talked about in your situation, the only way you're going to get traded is if you decide in the next few weeks you were done and you have to make a statement that you want out. I'm not getting that energy from you at all. Is that fair? 100%. I think I've answered this question a lot of times. I'm not throwing a knock at you, but I keep saying that conversations are going to happen between other people and third parties is something that I can't control. I can't control what you're going to say to an agent. I can't control I can only control what comes out of my mouth. And then not one time have I shown that I'm not invested in this team. And by the way, who said he's not invested in the team? I'm sure when he goes out there, he's not dogging. He's not pulling a Jimmy Buckets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Maybe that injury was a little bit fishy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Great timing.
Great timing. I don't know what to tell you.
Right after his managers went up to Milwaukee's front office and said he wanted to be traded.
He said, Giannis doesn't want to be there. I want you to pinpoint that. There's never been an interview where I said that. So I don't know why people discredit what I say. Like, even when your article comes out, people will say, yeah, but. Sorry, dude. You're the one who keeps flip-flopping all the time in every single place. He said, I wanted to see if you're willing and comfortable to say, listen, I'm not going anywhere. He says, I am not going anywhere. I'm invested in the team. I'm going to turn this team around. I want to play good basketball. I want to be healthy. I want to help my teammates. I want to win games. The last 6 games we played, that I've played, we're 4-2. We've got a lot of games in front of us. I'm locked the bleep in. My priority is just staying healthy. He says, the way your situation has been framed in the next few weeks before February 5th, you have to decide whether you want out. Am I hearing correctly? You've decided? As of today, you know how they say the thing about your significant other or your wife, you always have to say, as of today. What does that mean? Yes, it was a very simple yes or no, Giannis. Oh, yeah, as of today.
It's consistent. He's being consistent what he said. He's like, I never say I want to leave now, but who knows what happens in 6-7 months. I'm human. I can change my opinion.
Yeah, it's always his out. It's always his out,
What, that he's a human?
Yeah, he's out. We're all human. We're all human. You could always have that out there. Right now, I am committed. Not 100%, but 1,000,000% to my teammates, to my craft, to this team, to the city. 1,000,000%. I don't look right. I don't look left. I only look at the next game, which is the Lakers. I want to win that game. I want us to stack wins before the All-Star game and get ourselves back in the race. What are we, 11th? This is nowhere near we want to be. That's the only thing that's on my mindset. So, but you're planning to be here through the end of the season. My plan is to be here the rest of my career. If they don't want me, okay, but you're the one in charge. Let's be real. I'm not the one in charge. I am an employee. The guy says, no, you're not. I'm not letting you get away with that. I'm just being real with you. Look, I have a family office where I have employees who work for me, people who run my whole life, business, day-to-day, investment, real estate, all that stuff, blah, 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 because I'm the boss. But on the court, I can only control what I can control. I'm not in charge. Somebody writes my check. This guy. I'm so done with it. It's enough.
No, you're not.
And no, it's enough. It's enough. I'm sick of
No,
it.
you're not.
I'm sick of it.
He's had enough
I'm
as
sick of
of
it.
today.
I'm sick of this.
You're right.
Nonsense.
He just pulled.
He's just doing the
Giannis pulled a Tobin on
just
Tobin.
the okey doke, dude.
He
The
pulled a
okey doke.
Tobin on Tobin.
The okey doke, dude.
What's the samurai? What is it?
Semantic samurai.
Semantic samurai.
That's what he is. He's the semantic samurai.
And who's the king of
Sure, he gets it
semantic
from
samurai?
somewhere.
Not me,
you know?
dude. I say it like it is.
Semantic samurai.
Crazy, dude. Anyway. It's wild. But yeah, everything's kind of settled down right now with this whole thing. It was a whirlwind day, obviously, today with the news of Mike McDaniel. Barry Jackson says on Twitter, he says, I would expect the Dolphins GM decision by Saturday, if not sooner, from my understanding. They will then begin to interview multiple candidates for coach. All right. That's where we're at with that. You think Mike McDaniel, think we find out Mike McDaniel gets any interviews today? Like, does anybody hop on that train right away? Or do they let it settle? Do they think they let him grieve? Or do you think he takes time like John Harbaugh?
They're not taking time.
John Harbaugh's time is probably a 2-week vacation, bro.
Probably.
And just waiting to see what the rest of the playoffs happens to see maybe, if Buffalo decides they want to let go of Sean McDermott.
Well, they made it seem like when John Harbaugh got fired, they made it seem like every team in the league was like, what?
Yeah, they said 6 teams.
Yeah.
6 teams with a coaching vacancy, and then there was another team that had a coach.
Yep. And so now it's like if he lets the dust settle a little bit, he's like, just let everybody know I'm going to go to Miami. It's in the bag. Ross knows it's in the bag. We made this whole McDaniel thing look good. We knew what it was. I'm best friends with Troy Aikman. That's why he hired him.
I mean, you gotta understand. Once Aikman made those comments in that Monday night game, and then you find out he's going to be part of the hiring.
Yeah, he crushed him. Whether he was in the fold or not, like
they
the
said
fact
he was
that
already 2 weeks prior. He was in the fold 2 weeks before.
So if he was in the fold and he did that, dude, that was basically him reciting your obituary as a coach. That's what that was. So I don't know. D Sizzle says Mike McDaniel in Buffalo would be fantastic. Josh Allen would be in hell. I just wanted just one meeting. Let's see how it goes for him. He goes, man, this guy yammers a lot. It's enough already. Crazy. We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. We're back after this. Oh, they got Jim Harbaugh on television right now. Think him and his broski already on the three-way with Stephan Ross?
He said he talked to his brother. He doesn't think his brother. He thinks his brother's the best coach ever, and he's not being.
Tomlin was giving him love too.
Tomlin was. Look, I love Tomlin, but hey, Tomlin, the days with Shula and Landry, those days are over, bro. If you're not winning, you got to go.
I'd like him. He said, I think he said on Rich Eisen yesterday, you know how he did the bang in the chest? He said that was an homage to his favorite UFC guy, Derek Lewis.
Oh.
I was like, oh, that's
Big Country. Is that Big Country?
No, the Black Beast.
The Black Beast. Okay,
Big Country is Roy Nelson.
Roy Nelson. Got you.
Roy Nelson.
But he a country, but Derek's a country guy.
Oh, yeah, he's from Houston.
He's from Houston, yeah.
Well, he was born in Louisiana, but he reps Houston. He
always wants to take off his shorts.
He does. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best at celebrating. Takes off the shorts. Always tells his wife they're going to have some happy time afterwards. He's a simple man. He just wants to kick ass, make money, and love his wife. We can all get behind that.
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
We can all get behind that for Derek Lewis. I'm happy for it. I am very excited to watch Michael Irvin tonight. I cannot wait. I don't know if
I don't think he can wait either.
Do you think he's hydrated? Is he already getting to the point? Because we were talking to Brian Monroe yesterday, and Brian was telling, he goes, yeah, we're flying over there, and we got legends on the plane and former first round picks on the plane, and I'm just like, man, that plane sounds awesome. And also, who's hydrating Michael Irvin for this game? Because he is like no other on these sidelines. He's next to Ray Lewis, and Ray Lewis is like, hey man, but he's ready. What he's gonna do with that belt after this ass kicking to the cooler, I hope he's limbered his arm up. I hope he's got it ready to go. He might tear a rotator cuff. He's gonna be so excited with the strikes.
I think by his celebration through 4 quarters will get his arms loosened up.
It's like, hey, where's our water crew? They're all with Mike. They're trying to get him ready for the second half.
Mike's dehydrated.
The idea that he's just he's on all fours and he's just so into it. And I know, look, some of it is performative, obviously, because he's doing it for his YouTube channel. I get it, but I love it. I don't care. I don't
think it's performative.
The world deserves to see it. The world deserves to see it.
Tobes, it's not performative. That's who he is.
I know that's who he is, but he's also he's found a lane here that everybody now wants to see his reaction and get Michael Irvin's view. There's no other view. You could broadcast that on ESPN, and I think people would tune into that. Forget the Manning cast, the Irvin cast. If you were a Canes fan, you wouldn't put a side TV of just I want to watch how he's watching this game the entire way.
I don't know.
Somebody says it's definitely not water, Tobin.
Well, there's a straw being used.
He's hydrated on anything else.
There might be a straw.
SDI says it's a clown show. Nobody likes it, and it takes away from the game.
No, it's not.
No, only you don't like it, dude.
I've heard a mix of reviews.
Who?
Some people don't like it.
Who?
How? You know what? How long they've been a Kane fan?
Yeah. Who?
Are they young?
They're older than me.
Feinbaum?
No, personal friends of mine.
It's not taking away from anything. It's literally not taking away from anything.
No, it's actually adding
Well, that's
more.
what I said. I'm like, what's the big deal? You're still looking at him.
Yeah. I don't know. What is it taking away from him? He loves his school. He's proud of his school. And we've seen him act like this at silly basketball games that weren't even for the real tournament. He loves the Hurricanes. And by the way, he's given a lot of speeches for big games where the Canes have gotten their ass kicked. So now he's finally on a ride where he is around the team. They're great. He gets to be proud. I love it. And trust me, he's going to have a great night tonight. You
don't even have to say that. Who we know.
He's going to have a great night tonight. And then forget it. I mean, I'm not going to talk about next week, even though that's what I believe is going to happen.
You keep mentioning
because one, Brittany got very mad at me and Leroy got very mad at me.
Why is Brittany getting upset at you?
Because she I don't know.
Nobody wants
she
Tobin to
can't
be a
function.
mush.
She can't function. She comes here yesterday. She's very nervous.
Why?
Because this is the biggest Canes game of her life.
Wasn't
you
the
know?
last game the biggest game, Kane game of a life?
They are all.
They're
So
all the
that's
biggest
what I'm
games of
saying.
her
I
life.
am sick and
when
tired.
the Canes were big, she was in overalls, you know, like she was sitting here watching Bluey or whatever the hell they had back then.
Blue's Clues?
Blue's Clues. And now she's sitting here. She's not throwing up the Blue's Clues. She's throwing up the U, and she's very nervous. But I can't help how I feel.
She can't help how she feels.
Just get ready for the Heat and Bulls game tonight.
Bulls game tonight, and then the Cats and Canadiens.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I want to keep an eye on all of it. But you know, I don't know if I can. You know, the focus. First of all, I'm gonna be knee deep in guacamole because it's the Fiesta Bowl. Gotta have. Is Tostitos still the sponsor?
I thought so. I'll check.
Is it? Or is it? Oh, it's something else. It's Verbo, right? It's not.
No,
Tostitos
you're right.
anymore.
It is Verbo. What happened?
I don't know. Maybe everybody got the message to eat Tostitos, or maybe they got outranked by avocados from Mexico.
I was trying to find the picture I have of Michael Irving on all fours.
No, we should get Leroy's impersonation of it. It was crazy.
Oh man, that's true.
He was crazy. I don't think Leroy's acting like that on the golf course today in Sarasota.
Oh, I wish. No, the Google images are fantastic. Like, I just can't.
Man, they haven't been the sponsor for like 12 years now.
Really?
Yeah, they ended in 2014.
Huh. I guess they ran out of that bowl spot. Well, it feels like the bowl sponsor, like everybody.
That's what happened.
You know, you just get to a point where you're just like, hey, listen, everybody's buying our chips. We don't need them anymore. Who sponsors the game? Is it Dr. Pepper? Do they still sponsor the national championship?
I will
check. It's not important. It's really not important.
It really
the only
isn't.
thing,
Just eat your guacamole.
the person who's the sponsor today is Ruben Bain, kicking their ass. I can't wait. They're gonna go to the point where they go right to Heatherman because they're gonna be like,
it is Dr. Pepper.
They're gonna be sitting here. They'll be like, how have we seen this fast offense get slowed down? And you know how you're going to? They're gonna go to Heatherman with that face, with the beard, and they're just gonna be like, man, look at him, stoic.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. If you're an opposing player, you got to see Jason Taylor teaching that defensive line.
Yep.
And then you got to see Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis. Like, that whole sideline is nothing but gold jackets.
Yeah. Is DK going to the game today? I don't think so. Who they got? Eli? All shucks Eli? Enjoy your sidelines.
Oh, you're talking about
for Ole Miss. Who they got?
Oh, they got Arch.
They got Arch.
They got Archie. The creator of all of this.
You want to see Arch?
The king of the Manning dynasty.
Arch.
Look at that
okay.
dude. Yeah, that's
Well,
Arch.
You know what, J Fig? That's a +1 for you.
That is a point. That is Arch.
Point for Jay.
You heard Arch Manning? That's Arch Irvin.
No man should be on all fours like that, man.
It's so intense.
But is he connoting dog there? Is that what he's channeling? Like he's in the mode right there. How many Kelbys of that? Do you think he's also worn the same shirt? Or do you think that he's like a cartoon character and he has just a closet full of that shirt?
I think he has a closet full of those shirts.
Definitely.
I think he stamps, he's like, this is the Michael Irvin shirt from
No, he has like the days.
Yeah. This is
On
from
the tag.
This is from the pit game. Date's house. He's getting the on-field POV. He can't get that from his feet.
Point for YouTuber.
He can't get that from his feet. It's gonna be wild.
Might not be the POV he wants.
Maybe not. But the POV we're gonna get tonight is going to be fantastic. I feel feels. Don't you feel like a special play from Malachi Toney coming tonight? You know, it's been a little bit. He obviously scored the game winner, but you know he's had some of the drop skis and the fumbles in these couple of games. But it feels like today's a break loose game.
Yo, so with that, as a Kane fan, if you see a fumble and they recover, don't you think you were going to win? Because I mean, that's happened the last 2 times.
I know, very fortunate.
Very fortunate.
Very fortunate.
But almost to the point where you're like, all right, it's part of the script.
I don't know. I mean, I was very nervous when it's happened. That's for sure. And especially, I mean, when it happened against A&M, I felt terrible for him because I do feel like at this point, it's like he's a kid, you know, but he's the most, you know, talented player maybe on the field, or one of them.
And that's the thing. It's our best players that are fumbling, but they make up for it.
They make up for it. They have that in them.
Fletcher.
And I do love that. I loved when Fletcher went over to him and like is just getting his mind right for it. But I've just been impressed with this team. Like, they just always seem to have a response, because even the way the Ohio State game went, where it was like, it was all feeling like Ohio State was taking the momentum. They had that in them to dig down and find some way. And it started with those pass rushers getting after it and finding a play to stop the momentum in that game. And I just respect that with this team. I think that's the thing that's been unbelievably impressive with them, is they've just always found a way to respond. They really have. And that's why I can't wait for today. I can't wait for today. I can't wait to watch Michael Irvin. I can't wait to get this Canes game underway. And honestly, I can't wait to hear all the highlights from Joe Zagacki tomorrow. I may listen to the montage tonight.
I wonder if George Zagacki's upset with the Miami Dolphins. He's the type of guy that would get upset. What of all the days, the Dolphins are going to make this announcement today?
Well,
Joe Z would say that.
I would understand that, but I think that it's because, and they did hijack the day. That's for sure. But I don't know. They're trying as much to not be a dumpster fire or not look like they have class. So this is what we get. But task at hand tonight. Ole Miss, I'm sorry for what's going to happen to you. I am.
No, you're not.
No, well, not really.
No, you're not.
But it's okay. They'll all go to LSU next year anyway. They'll be happy with Lane Kiffin.
God bless their souls.
They've already proven themselves. They're happy. They're like, we're just happy to be here. It's over now. Reuben Bain's ready to send you all away. Saw them all laughing and joking around the trophy. You know who last time I saw them do that, J-Fig?
Cool.
The Edmonton Oilers.
That's true.
The Panthers had something for them. So, you know what it is. We're excited for it. By the way, if you guys want to go to American Freestyle Wrestling right now, caller number 3 to 305-567-0560. Real American Freestyle is coming to Amerant Bank Arena on Saturday. I'm going. Taking Tommy Tobin to that. Colby Covington takes on Luke Rockhold. You got Yoel Romero against Bo Nickel. Great matchups. If you want a 4-pack of tickets right now, caller number 3 to 305-567-0560 wins a 4-pack of tickets to the event on Saturday. If you can't wait to win, you can purchase tickets at amerantbankarena.com/events. But right now, we're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to Real American Freestyle this Saturday at Amerant Bank Arena. Colby Covington and Luke Rockhold. Caller number 3 to 305-567-0560. Of course, the big news of the day, other than the Canes about to kick Ole Miss's ass, is the Dolphins have fired Mike McDaniel. Omar Kelly from the Miami Herald, he joined us a little bit earlier as the news broke. If you guys missed that, he broke everything down, where the Dolphins are headed from here, Stephan Ross is thinking, and all that. We got that for you next. Kelly, Miami Dolphins columnist from the Miami Herald, joins us there. Omar, appreciate you hopping on with us, man, in this crazy day with
Absolutely.
Mike McDaniel officially getting let go. Now, I was following you carefully on social media, man. You kept saying, "Hey, man, Stephen Ross hasn't said anything yet. He ain't said anything yet." As chipper as maybe Monday's or as confident as Monday's press conference went for Mike McDaniel, we get the news today. It's done. I guess, what was your reaction to it? Surprise level, and what do you think about the decision?
Not surprised. Mike is a good man. Mike is a good coach. I don't necessarily believe Mike is what this particular organization needs, not only just at this time, but in general. We tried it Mike's way. We tried it the nice guy's way. Unfortunately, I don't think that works here in South Florida. And people who have had success have told me it doesn't necessarily work here in South Florida. You need a MFer to make it work down here. And hopefully that's what the Dolphins are searching for. I knew that the Dolphins would not make a decision until they heard from all their general manager candidates, because the one mistake they didn't want to make is the same mistake they made the last time they searched for a general manager, which was to dictate to him what was going to happen and the terms of the game. And that's why they ended up with their fourth choice, because everybody else said, thanks, but no thanks. So they've learned from that mistake, didn't go into the situation of interviews with the general manager, basically coming with this formulated conclusion of what they needed to do. And ultimately, after they narrowed down the list of four, they decided to sit down with Mike, and they decided to let him go. The future, it wasn't fixable with Mike. And if we're going to do this, let's tear the Band-Aid off and let this thing air dry.
Do you feel like, was there a breaking point for him? Like, obviously they marinated on a couple of days, but do you think that whether it was starting terrible again, or just Tua, finally they realized it ran out, or once Chris got gone, what do you think was the point where they probably realized this isn't going to be the guy anymore?
I don't know if Steve Ross, the owner, realized this isn't going to be the guy anymore up until Cleveland. There was a just level of frustration, anger, disappointment that came out of that Cleveland situation. And you could tell from then Mike's days were probably numbered. Then they go win the Buffalo game. Then they go put together a winning streak. But ultimately, they still finished the season poorly. And I have been told that Steve Ross was all out on Tua very early this season, and there was no turning back from that. And yes, Mike eventually replaced him, but this whole organization, this whole team is built around Tua. And Steve came to the conclusion that that was taking the Miami Dolphins franchise absolutely nowhere. And then when you watch Seattle and Denver and Jacksonville, am I missing anybody else? Rebuild like this. New England. Rebuild like that. 2 years max on all of them.
Yep.
If not one for Jacksonville. You're saying basically, what the bleep? And that was, and I've said this from the very beginning. This organization needs a scorched earth cleanse, a nuke it, let all the grass die, and see what comes up from the earth. It's like cancer, man. You can't leave anything behind, because it's gonna grow roots again and just infect the body. This organization has poor, is an understatement, culture. And it's not Mike, it's not Brian, it's not Ireland, it's not Tannenbaum, it's not Gase, it's not Hickey, it's not Sperano, it's not Parcells, it's not Ross. Because what does he do outside of writing checks? They just need to start fresh.
Do you feel like Harbaugh is the obvious guy they're gunning for, or do you feel like is there somebody we're not seeing that will be this? Because the GM thing, I guess it's being reported they're going to try and finish that thing up, I guess, this week.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like the GM is going to go hand in hand? Like it's going to be a guy that person works with? Are they out on first time coaches? What do you think that they're what do you think is their strategy here?
Steve Ross has an obsession with first timers, and he has flat out told me that. He believes there is a level of loyalty and work ethic that comes with first timers and people you give that opportunity to that I don't think he can let go. And this works in all of his businesses. However, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And I think that Steve has basically come to the approach or mindset that I need to do different than what I have done in the past. So if I have gone with a first-time coach, I probably don't need to do that this time. I think he's gone with how many first-time coaches? 4? Philbin, Gase, Flores, McDaniel. So that's 4.
Yeah.
I think
and he
we
inherited
could have learned something from that.
Yeah.
Just a guess. What was the question again? Other than
do you think this is going to be all centered on Harbaugh first and foremost, or do you think they got some other ideas maybe in the fold?
I don't want the Dolphin fan to get all obsessed about Harbaugh. You shoot your shot. You let everybody know these are the terms. Ross loves his reputation as a big bidder, big spender, because it always, in his words, and this is his quote, gets him a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
So they will have a seat at the table, but I think you got to move really quickly off Harbaugh if he's not interested, because it's a black eye. And I think Harbaugh is not going to be the only very polished, talented candidate that's out there, in my opinion. I think there are going to be some people who get fired within the next 2 weeks after playoff performances or force their way out of their situations. Because keep in mind, it's not always about the firing. Sometimes it's about, I got 2 years left of my contract. What you going to do? You going to pay me? You going to pay me at the rate of what my peers are making? No? All right, then let's keep it moving. You go your way, I go my way. So there could be some of those situations in Green Bay and in Buffalo and in Pittsburgh, and those individuals might interest the Miami Dolphins. I am not certain how this thing gets played out. In a dream world, it's Harbaugh because he is a culture changer. But can I tell you that Harbaugh is going to instantly make Miami relevant, dynamic, a championship caliber team? No, because there's so much that comes with that. Harbaugh got lucky that Lamar saved his job, because I believe he was going to get fired in that 2020 season until he went to Lamar, and Lamar was dynamic, and that led to a really impressive resurgence. But look at Mike Tomlin. How long has it taken him to get a quarterback to replace Big Ben? He rode out the final years of Big Ben, probably keeping him longer than he should have. Doing the Dan Marino thing. No offense to Dan Marino and Dan Marino fans, but you know what I'm saying. You don't push out a legend. You even though the Dolphins pushed him out, you let him gracefully decide I can't play anymore, and that's what Mike Tomlin did. And yeah, they've drafted a number of quarterbacks, all busts. It is what it is. He's taking his shot with an old veteran team led by Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if that works. They didn't have DK Metcalf when they sort of fizzled out in the end of the season. But even if Tomlin becomes available, would he be interested in Miami? Is Miami the place for him? And I would argue to you, this isn't a place for everybody. This isn't a place. If you like, Pittsburgh is a different culture than Miami. Completely different culture. I don't know if you've Pittsburgh is metal lunchbox, steel-toe shoes and hard hats. That's that culture of that city, the whole city. Miami is not like that.
That's also the thing that I'm interested with him, because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on Game Down Censored, right? And I'm like, I don't know how his age can't affect his decision-making at this point, right? Like, you already got your son, Stephan Ross. Stephan Ross. Because, like, you got your son-in-law sitting there, and all of a sudden you're going to slide in here and get – no, like, I feel like this just sets up for him doing something reckless. Like, as much as they need something clean, cleanse, I could see him doing something like –
What has he ever done that's reckless, though? It's funny you say that. What has he ever done that's reckless?
I mean, he got busted tampering for Tom Brady.
Everybody tampers in the NFL.
He's the only one who gets
not good at it.
Yes, that's the point. Like that connotes recklessness.
You know how you tamper properly in the NFL? You hire a consultant.
Exactly, dude. You better
he's learned his lessons.
I'm just saying,
how many times do you have to get pow before you learn how to do business in the NFL?
I'm just wondering if he goes like, it calls up one of these disgruntled quarterback franchises, or trades all the way up to get Fernando Mendoza. Like, I don't think he's waiting. I feel like it's like, hey, we're bringing in big name coach. I'm doing it Big Ross's way. I'm going out here.
Big Rossi style. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. I think the only thing that I can say is I think he's learned from his mistakes of the past.
Okay.
And the tampering, the hiring of a consultant, man, if probably Roger Gill sat him down and said, and he in a meeting, and he said, bro, you're punishing me for everything that everybody else is doing. And Roger Gill basically looked at him and said, you know, you're not getting punished for that. You know what you're getting punished for. And it was like, all right. And then Roger Gill was like, if you want to tamper, go get you a consultant. That's how everybody keep your hands clean, brother. It was like he was out there selling dope by him on his own. Like, it's in his text history. Come on, man. You get a burner. What are you doing? But anyway,
Stephan Ross just learns to text broccoli. He goes, it's code.
Yeah, I gotta go grocery shopping. Let's go grocery shopping in Pittsburgh.
He's still old. He's still putting it in air quotes.
Yeah. You know, I think this search, the fact that they have not contacted Jim Harbaugh yet before they removed Mike McDaniel, shows he learned from 2011. You know, you keep it classy.
Happy anniversary, by the way, to that. To the boardroom. Before we get you out of here, Omar, I want to go back to the Tua thing. What do you think it was that had Stephan Ross out? Was it just him stinking? Was it words? Like, what was it that he was just like, I'm done with the dude? Because it's impossible that it's not tied to Mike. That's kind of what defined Mike, is that relationship.
I think the obsession, Steve has always been obsessed with a high-powered, high-flying scoring offense. He's like a fantasy football player. He wants offense. Well, in 2022 and 2023, they delivered that. 2024, not so much. 2025, definitely not so much. So, like, I think it was the Buffalo game that I heard, the first Buffalo game, and you're there. You see that you're not in the league with the division champions, and yeah, you beat them later, but it's like how do you like you and the quarterback doesn't look like he, you know, at that time Tua didn't look like he looks now. So, but the quarterback just wasn't making plays, and the interception in the fourth quarter, you know, Ross is aware that Tua can't beat really good teams. He can beat everybody else. So it's interesting to see how that play, I don't think the infatuation ever came back. I don't think the love, the interest, the desire ever came back with him.
Appreciate the time, man. Thanks for hopping on with us today.
All right, guys.
Go check out Omar Kelly's work. Follow him at Omar Kelly. Go read his work in the Miami Herald. He does a fantastic job, and appreciate him hopping on. Vlad, thanks for setting that up, man.